Columbia Implant Center in Manchester, fiction becomes reality. Meet James. Thanks to their advanced implant technology, he's living proof of the bionic jaw, getting powerful, life-changing results. James says his new smile has him feeling truly, and we quote, better, stronger, faster. Columbia Implant Center, precision engineering, where science fiction meets modern dentistry. Visit ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1238 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1238. That's 800-549-1238. What do you have to lose? Call 800-549-1238. Again, 800-549-1238.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Who's at home? Which one of you scallywags are at home? Pretending it's a federal holiday. Where you at? I'm at work. Roland's at work. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Yeah, we're at work. Where were you? I walked here into the studio. Morgan Cunningham was the only person I could find. Some random DJ over at our sister station. I don't know who he is. I've never seen the guy before. I've never seen him. It's a tall guy, tall drink of water. I think he was almost taller than me. Younger guy, probably maybe about the same age. He just looks younger than me. You ever seen that guy?
Yeah, he's been here for the 20 years.
Really? What's his name?
DJ Hawk.
Okay, you know what? He looks like a DJ Hawk. But I've never seen this guy. What does he do? Holiday DJing?
No, weekends and during
overnight.
Yeah, he used to be here a lot more, but
okay.
Well,
I've never seen the guy.
I did all his drops. That's why I know.
Oh, really? I've only been here 3 months. Okay, if that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't seen everybody. But anyway, I walk in, I see him. I walk all through the sales department. I make my rounds when I come in because I always like to say hello to everyone. That's the way I roll. It's always been the way I roll in radio. Walk by, make yourself known. Become comfortable and familiar with the people who work with you in all facets of the business. Say hello. Be courteous. They always remember you. That's how I've always been able to sustain myself in this business, by making relationships or starting relationships with people in here. Never bugging them, never trying to get anything. I'm not a taker. I always walk in and say, hey, how you doing? I don't do the whole thing, hey, how's the fam? Oh, children? Hey, did Joey get his braces? I don't do all of that. Okay, because that's a little too much. But I walked through today. Morgan Cunningham, here. John Silva, he's here. Roland, here. Everybody else, gone. I'm like, what's going on? Like, are we all these schmoes who showed up? And, of course, I tell Morgan, I'm like, what? The place is empty. I was supposed to come in early because I wanted to see the morning crew over at Hot. And they took the day off, and everybody else is saying, it was like, well, it's kind of a black holiday. No, it's not. It's just a holiday. That's all. And I forgot that people are going to take it off. Me thinking everybody's like me is going to be here because I know Roland's going to be here. But no, you guys took the day off. It's okay. It's all right. I'm not going to shame you. You're probably getting paid for the day. You're probably saying that right now. You're screaming at me going, I'm getting paid for the day, Reese. I don't know about you. Do we get paid double time for the day, by the way? Oh, you do. I get nothing. I get nada.
You get nada.
I get nothing.
Yeah, I get paid extra to put up with your mess.
Well, if you put
On
it
a
that way,
holiday.
it's well deserved. If that pay, I don't think you're getting paid enough. To
Oh,
be honest.
hey. I hope somebody hear that.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna come in here and deal with me on a holiday, you won't get paid enough. But anyway, we're here. I'm just Joshua with the rest of you. Enjoy your day off. I hope you are, getting, as most people do, they get chores done. There's snow on the ground, shoveling to be done, getting snow off of places that might be a little weak because we got a lot of snow over the weekend. Roseanne is loving every bit of it. Look, baby, it's snowing. It's snowing. And I'm trying to be as, supportive as I can. Yes, honey, it's snowing. Do you want to go outside? Don't be crazy, she says. I just want to look at it from my window. So she did. Took her out a little bit. We drove down to Wegmans in Norfolk on Sunday. That was a trip and a half. We also went to the Vernon Trump store that was closing down. And I got to do a monologue about that. And a lot of Republicans are not going to be happy with me, with what I'm about to share. And I've noticed this in a lot of circles. And it's a plea to conservatives in this state. What I am about to say to you today is out of love. And if you get mad at it, then you are not understanding love. Love isn't always patting you on the rump and saying, good job. You're not doing a good job representing conservatism or conservatives in this state. And you need help. And it's clear that you do. And I don't want to take the mantle of coach, but I'm taking the mantle of coach. Because I got to kick some behind around here. And it must be done for the sake of conservatism and Republicans in this state. The game must be stepped up. And I don't know if I could do it now because I've been upset about it all weekend. And it'll have to wait. So about the 3 o'clock hour, maybe the 4 o'clock hour even. Yeah, the 4 o'clock hour. If you are sitting at home and you can't stick around for the show, make sure that you at least go back to ReeseOnTheRadio.com or WTIC.com if you have the Odyssey app. Go back to it. Because I think that this must be said. I had to get out there in the world and I had to touch you. I had to feel you. You Republicans. I wasn't really happy with what I saw. But we'll get to that. Because we're all gonna win. And I'm going to help. I'm going to assist you. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get to why we're really here. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever asked yourself, while you're seeing all of this mayhem happening in Minnesota, have you ever thought to ask, what are these people fighting for? Have you ever asked them? Maybe a liberal who's a friend of yours or a family member of yours. Have you ever asked them, hey, Shoshana, what are they fighting for? If you get hesitation or a bunch of rambling and mumbling, or if you get They're fighting against ICE. As soon as they say against, so they stop them. Say, no, I know that you're fighting. ICE is the enemy. I get it. But what are you fighting for? Everyone in the history of the world has fought for something. Somebody comes up to you with a knife. The person with the knife is now your enemy. What are you fighting for? Are you fighting him because he has a knife? Are you fighting him because he's coming at you with a knife? No. You are fighting to survive. That is the goal. Your attacker is coming at you because he is fighting for something. To harm you, if not kill you. That is the goal. That's what he's fighting for. When someone is robbing you, they are robbing you for your goods, for your watch, for your wallet, for your credit cards, for your cash, for your jewelry. They have a mission statement. When you fight back, what are you fighting for? For those said belongings and your own safety. Everyone, no matter where you look, has a mission statement when they are in a fight. So I ask again, what are these people fighting for? Are they fighting for immigrants? All of them? They must ask that. They must be asked that question. Are you fighting for all immigrants in the country? And when they say yes, ask them simply, even the bad ones? Because these people who are out there are stopping ICE agents from, they say, taking their neighbors. But do you know who the neighbor is you're fighting for? What is the name of the individual that ICE is apprehending that you're fighting for? Or do you see them as one big, giant pool of immigrants? Does it not matter the reason they got here, the crimes they committed, if any, the warrant that you keep claiming you need to see? I've never heard anyone ask. They used to in the beginning. Do you have a warrant? Do you have a warrant? And that is now escalated to stop stealing our neighbors. Again, what are they fighting for? When they're spitting in the face of a ICE agent, why are you doing that? What are you spitting in his face for? Because he's a fascist, you say? What is your proof of that? Do you need proof of that? He's doing a job. He swore an oath to actually commit to getting rid of illegals in the country. He understands his job description. Do you? What does he have to do with what you are fighting for? Do you know and or care? No. We know you don't. Because your fight is about enemies. How do I know? Let's check the tape. When you were protesting to release Maduro from prison, a man who has committed atrocities in Venezuela against free people, allegedly, you wish to have him free. You wanted him to go back. Hands off Venezuela. Who were you fighting for? Were you fighting for the millions or hundreds of thousands who were in the street of Caracas celebrating his capture? Were those the people you were fighting for? It must be asked and answered because, again, you are disrupting everything, everywhere. You are out there tussling violently with people and fighting them, keeping them from doing their job, destroying their actual property, stealing guns and paperwork and documents. What is this fight for? Is it for the child molester, the rapist, the drug trafficker? Is it for? Like, are you fighting for them? We need to know. Are you fighting for the human trafficker? Who are you fighting for? The gangbanger? Are you fighting for the criminal? How are you fighting for them? Stopping them from being deported so they can continue to commit those crimes? What if the police were there to serve a warrant on one of these people you don't want arrested or taken in or detained? Do they get a pass because of where they come from? Do they get a pass because of their legal status? Are you protecting people based upon their race, legal status, where they come? Is that what it is? Are these protections ever afforded to other family members who might be separated from their children? Let's say mothers or fathers in the inner city when federal agents show up? Is that happening? No. So, what are you fighting for? Again, every, I guess, protagonist has always had a mission. Braveheart, what did he fight for? Well, the hell, he said it at least 9 times in the second half of the movie. Freedom! What are you doing this for? Freedom! He's fighting for something. You know what everyone's fighting for. You know exactly what the mission is. But these people don't, which is why it's so easy for them to switch to the next one. Because it's always about the enemy. Enemy, enemy, enemy. Bad guy, bad guy, bad guy. Demonize the opposition. It's not whether or not they're righteous. It's not, and when I say the opposition, it's not about whether or not the opposition's doing the right thing. They're obeying the law. They're creating situations where human beings are frustrated, fights ensue, people are getting shot. And then there's this alternate universe that people like to live in. You know, the violence would stop if the ICE agents would leave. Who's committing the violence? Well, the ICE agents. How? Well, they're provoking the protesters to make them do acts of violence. Oh, you're telling me that the presence of ICE is so volatile that these human beings, these protesters out there, can't control themselves and they're forced to spit, drive cars, run into people, actually get into fisticuffs with these federal agents just by their presence. Boy, if those ICE agents would just leave, these people wouldn't behave like animals. Which is interesting. This is very interesting. It's no different than the way Tim Walz and Jacob Fry, whatever his name is, they deal with minority groups. They don't see them as having agency, an ability to behave like normal folks. They're animals. They just are. You know, if you stop patrolling the inner city, there wouldn't be so much violence in the hood. You mean to tell me that we just allow them to sell drugs and poison their community, things would be safer? Yes, absolutely. It's wrong that you are picking on this small minority in our cities and using them and arresting them for selling drugs and just trying to get along so they can feed their families. You need to leave them alone. Less patrols. Let's try not to arrest so many black folks that are committing crimes because, you know, arresting them is a form of racism. But they're committing crimes. Yeah. But, you know, they have to. They have to. Same argument with the protesters. Well, if you would leave, these people wouldn't be angry with you. They wouldn't attack you if you just leave them alone. They're all animals. I mean, isn't that the truth, folks? Come on. Come on. Sad part is that every one of those groups likes being treated like animals. It's like getting a little puppy treat from their elected officials. Yeah, man, did you hear? Jacob Frey was standing up for us, man. He's telling the cops, man. He's telling the cops, don't come into our neighborhood, man. He looking out. He looking out. That's what the protesters hear. I have elected officials. I mean, in essence, the people who are in charge, telling the authorities to go away. That means we won. They're on our side. That's exactly what's happening. Catering to the animals. Oh, come on. You know these folks are animals. Sure they are. You'd have to be an animal to poison your community. You'd have to be an animal to destroy your city streets. Huh? Human beings don't do that. Civilized people don't do that. The actions of pure animals. Lesser beings. That's what they are. I know it sucks to say, but we all know it's true. You know, I don't care. If you could shoot inside of a church, shoot a kid while he's inside of his house doing homework, bullets flying everywhere, you could do all of that damage to your inner city. Steal from your fellow taxpayers. You could do all of that. Not even blink an eye. You can't be anything more than an animal. We need to ask them, folks, what are they fighting for? The answer will surprise you, because there'll be none. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
I'm here with Ken Tumalo, founder of Tumalo Financial and host of Tumalo Financial Radio, Sundays right here on WTIC News Talk 1080. Many of us spend years working and saving and putting as much money away for retirement as we can. Then, when we get closer to it, a lot of us just don't know where to start. So, Ken, what should someone do as they get closer to retirement?
And that's it. A lot of people just don't know where to start. They don't know what they don't know. So really what it is sitting down with someone, figuring out not only goals and needs, but how do the numbers go together? And are you going to be okay in retirement? So really it's that checkup. Figure out where you are before you actually retire.
What would you say the biggest fear is in retirement, and how do you help your clients get past that?
Running out of money. Someone could save $100,000 for retirement, or they could save $10 million for retirement, but they'll both come in with that one same common issue. I'm afraid to run out of money. What should I be doing?
What kind of impact can the Tumalo Financial Retirement Checkup have?
It makes people comfortable in retirement. For example, I've had people say to me, hey, I want to buy a second house in retirement, but I'm scared to do it because I'll run out of money. When we're doing that checkup, we can prove out whether or not it's okay to buy that house so they're comfortable doing it. Since we're going over this, I want to offer help for our listeners today. For the next 5 callers, my team and I are going to sit down with you personally for a complimentary Tumalo Financial Retirement Checkup. We'll talk about your goals and put together a retirement plan that works for you. Call us at 860-854-3434 or find us online at tfcheckup.com.
At Tumalo Financial, they've got one job, and that's to help you get retirement ready. Again, the number 860-854-3434.
Investment advisory services offered through Tumalo Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance services offered through Tumalo Financial, licensed in Connecticut.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Reese on the Radio is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Reese on the Radio, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 2:30, Hartford temperature, 31 degrees, partly sunny skies. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We will check in with meteorologist Bob Cox for the frigid forecast coming up. Meriden police have a shooting investigation on their hands this afternoon. Officers were called to an area of Cook Avenue around noon. There's not much more in the way of information, including the extent of any injuries or a motive. Several fires were reported in Connecticut in the last day. A woman was seriously burned in a fire in a Willimantic apartment complex Sunday night. In Waterbury, a dozen people were displaced when fire broke out in a basement of a dwelling there. And in Granby, one person and 2 dogs were rescued in an early morning fire in that town. Milford police say thieves struck a Macy's in the Connecticut Post Mall over the weekend. The crooks reportedly made off with $50,000 in jewelry. Investigating officers say 3 cases were smashed with hammers, and the suspects made their getaway by motor vehicle. In Southington, police say a man died as he was helping a neighbor clear a driveway using an ATV. The 83-year-old, identified as Andrew Connolly, he was pronounced dead at the scene. That vehicle had gone over an 8-foot retaining wall, according to investigators. EU leaders are using strong language like intimidation and blackmail to describe President Trump's threat of new tariffs over Greenland. Marks a shift in tone since the president returned to the White House a year ago. The idea of NATO's most powerful member threatening an ally's territory is not sitting well with some in the ranks there. Arizona, unanimous number 1 in the AP Top 25 men's college basketball poll. For the first time, the Wildcats received all 61 votes from a media panel for today's poll. They're 18-0, won both games last week to remain among the 3 undefeated Division I teams. WTIC News Time 2:32. Bob Cox with the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
Temperatures this afternoon get up to about 30 to 35 degrees, upper 20s in the hills. There could be a flurry or 2 around by this evening. We have an Arctic cold front that's going to move through around that time. And then behind that front, we'll see lows tonight fall back between 8 and 16 degrees as skies become mostly clear. And with the breeze at times, so the wind chill will be down in the single digits above and below 0 at times during tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, breezy and cold, highs in the low 20s. Might stay in the upper teens across the hilly terrain. Clear and cold Tuesday night, lows 5 to 11. Sunshine Wednesday morning, mixing with some clouds in the afternoon, the high near 30. And a mix of sun and clouds on Thursday. Can't rule out a flurry, high near 40 degrees. It turns much colder, though, as we go into Friday and the weekend. I'm meteorologist Bob Cox in the WTIC Weather Center.
Partly cloudy, 30 degrees in Hartford. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go.
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go.
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
Let's go.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The following is a paid commercial advertisement.
From the Wall Street Sweeper Money Desk, Russ Hackman, president of Hackman Wealth Partners. Russ, why do some advisors push so much risk?
It's a dirty little secret out there that some advisors can get paid more in order to keep your investments in riskier areas, as opposed to moving them to areas where you might get more consistent income over time or have less market exposure. Get a second opinion on that.
For a comprehensive review, no cost, no obligation, 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Discussion of safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products and are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance company.
The Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp, and they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest-growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
Fan of WTIC? Then do us a favor. Download the free Odyssey app and favorite WTIC.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio on this Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. His birthday was Friday, but we celebrate usually the first Monday after his holiday. So, of course, there will be a tribute on the Reese on the Radio show today. I got a message in the chat room at reeseontheradio.com. Rolo asked, was Martin Luther King fighting for something? And I responded, sure was. Stay tuned. You'll hate it. And most of you will. It's just something that I have to do. So I have a whole thing prepared for that. I will get to the phones in a second, but I just want to let you know it was last January? Yeah, it had to be. Last January, I get an email from Janine. And it went to everybody. It was, a mass email. And it said, please remember we cannot play I Have a Dream over the air. And my first response to that was, that's got to be part of public use, right? Like, what? I've never remembered a day I didn't play that. And I looked into it, and sure enough, we cannot. Because if we do, we've got to pay Martin Luther King's family for it. Thought that was odd. Okay. I won't get into that. That's, for me, that becomes a war of words. Because I can't contain myself on what I really want to say about that. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'll do for now. Anyway, let's get to the phones real quick. Paul in Southington is on the line. He wanted to chime in. How are you, Paul?
Very good. Thanks for taking my call. Great show. Hey, I just want to share this quick little story, and then I want to ask you a question after, okay?
Sure.
I went out in 2022 on the Connecticut Family Leave Act, okay? Then in 2025, this past August, I get a letter followed by a phone call saying that there was some problem where I was overpaid and they want to recoup the money that was sent to me, and I said, wow, 3 years later, couldn't you guys call me like 2 months, and say, hey, there was some kind of something went off here where you got,
Was it a substantial amount, Paul?
$1,200.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so, all right. So I said, okay, 3 years later, I said, I can make payments. I can't, come up with it all at once. And they said, okay. So anyway, I made 5 payments so far, and I intend on paying it all back. And I just sent a check out about a week ago. And I get another message the other day over the weekend. Oh, we haven't received money, blah, blah, blah. So the bottom line is I'm making payments, okay? I'm 76 years old, still working full time. And my question is, $9+ billion goes out of the state of Minnesota. And they say, oh, no, this is racism. It's coming out of that certain community. So my question is, being an old white guy, being hounded, can I claim racism?
I think at this point you should, even though, look,
really?
I know you think it's ridiculous, but I wouldn't look. They are making the case for you, my friend. And if I were you, I wouldn't give a damn. I would make them look at you square in the face and tell you that you, because of your whiteness, cannot be subjected to racism. I would make them say it and then throw it right back in their face. I would still do it.
Yeah, and you know what? I've always kid around with people I know. My white privilege is being able to just follow rules and pay the taxes. That's about it. But anyway, listen, the thing is, if you saw the letter that they sent me saying this is the second notice, you haven't responded since the first mailing, and you know what the date was? 1970.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so this is how they keep records. But the bottom line is they hunt me down for $1,200, and $9+ billion flies out of Minnesota.
Yeah,
no problem.
I think it's probably far more than that. Exactly. It's
right.
interesting.
Hey.
Thank you, buddy.
Yep. Thanks for taking my call. Bye.
You got it. Let's go, Ken and Vernon. Why not? Hey, Ken, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Pretty good, sir. What's up?
Just wanted to talk to Reese, see how he
This
liked
is
the
Reese.
meatballs at the Trump store.
This is Reese. I'm sorry. You were asking what did I think of the Trump store?
Yeah, you were talking about it, and then you changed the subject. But,
well, I am going to talk about it a little bit. There's a lot of stuff that I want to talk about, but I am going to talk about the Trump store. I'm wearing a hat that I purchased from the Trump store right now. I'm wearing the Gulf of America hat because I already had a Gulf of America T-shirt, so now the two are matching. So I'm wearing both of them today.
And then about the all the protests and rallies and that. Me myself being done over 100 of them.
Okay.
From Obama era all the way up, even at the White House. And not one of us was ever arrested. We actually shook hands with all the police there, and never any problems because we did what we did peacefully.
You know what I remember from all of those protests, and you talk about back in the Obama days, I presume you were there for like the Tea Party rallies, right, in Washington?
Well, I was really there because I've got a foundation, Save Our Kids, and I watch veterans come home from war and their kids are taken away, their houses are taken, and the judges in Connecticut, me myself, was locked up for exposing a judge. So it was for 70 million fathers that don't get to see their kids.
Damn. Well, no, I was saying my point was that some of these protests that took place in Washington, D.C. that were, Tea Party, taxed enough already, protests that were there. I remember Rush talking about those rallies and always saying that the cleanup crews would show up and be like, what the hell? It had all been cleaned up. No one left a mess. Everybody cleaned up after themselves. They were always respectful of the land that they were on and the place that they were on. They understood the privilege and the responsibility because they wanted to be able to come back. They didn't want to be refused a permit when they wanted to again. So they always respected the property.
Absolutely. And, once you start blocking roads, highways, and businesses and swinging at people, you become a criminal. That's what I cannot understand, how these leaders are not held accountable with their oath to tell the people, get off the streets.
I will tell you exactly why that is, Ken. It's really simple. It's as simple as this. When you have a party that doesn't have any real sort of like push behind, or has let's say a policy initiative, or at least an agenda, you have to sort of quietly, but almost like I guess in some broader ways, almost apologetic, if you will, for these people, because they are doing your dirty work.
Well,
right,
absolutely.
so you're kind of fanning the flames while also saying we want peace, at the same time saying this is like the Battle of Gettysburg. It's like, come on, all it is doing exactly what they wanted to do, but they are using their citizens, the useful idiots that we know of, to do their bidding, because Tim Walz and Jacob Frey have no real coalition of leadership to get behind them and fight back against Trump. So they're using their minions, if you will, in this case, to go out there and do their work.
Yes.
So it's sad, but that's where we are.
You know it.
Thank you, sir. Thanks,
All right.
Ken.
All right, brother.
You
Take
got
care.
it. When we come back at the top of the hour, there was something that happened in Minneapolis, or Minnesota for that matter, that a lot of people are outraged about. And I get it. I get where you're out of sorts about this. But this is one of those things I tell you guys all the time, how some things need to happen in order for you to recognize and others to recognize exactly what must be done. What happened with the church in Minnesota is it can only be viewed as desperation by the agitators. And I will explain to you why that is. Because everybody saw that. You sort of look at what everyone else is posting online. Look at this. This is outrageous. Don't fall for the outrage porn. Do not. It's easy. It's low-hanging fruit. Of course you're supposed to be outraged at it. Of course you are, because what was done was insane. But you have to have perspective. It's important. You don't pull a stunt like this if you have or you've made any headway. Right? So people, imagine this. I want you to look at this in this way. You live in your house and your neighbor hates your guts. And your neighbor, it comes out every morning when you're out grabbing your mail or taking out the garbage, but when they see you, she's cursing you out. You're a bum, I hate you. You and your wife and your silly-looking kids. She's yelling at you. She's constantly yelling at you over and over again. And you ignore it. Sure, you say, yeah, beat it, Alice. Nobody cares. But she's been doing it for a long time. And she gets nowhere. She doesn't rattle you. And when she realizes she doesn't have any weight, she needs to broaden her scope. So then, she'll start making it about your neighbor. I don't know how you can live next door to that guy. You know what he did? Do you know what he did the other day? That son of a gun? He did that, and the third. She starts bright. When you get nowhere, you have to broaden. You have to go neighbor-wise. That's all that's happening here. It is a desperate attempt to wreak havoc, but for one sole reason. And I'll explain that when we get back. Stand by. More news, more views. It's Reese On The Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
The divorce rate for couples over the age of 50 has doubled since 1990. Financial planner Carolyn McClanahan says a number of factors are driving gray divorce, and it's rarely amicable.
Most of them are adversarial, so each spouse needs to make sure that they're protecting themselves.
If you protect your assets, she says, you can attack life's second act with gusto.
It can be scary and exciting all at the same time.
I'm Rob Hart.
This new year, get started on your next success with University of Maryland Global Campus. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start February 11th. An accredited state university, UMGC offers online and hybrid classes while giving you a head start on 2026. Earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hi, I'm Jerry Puya from Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe. We have a new bagel flavor for 2026. It's the Between Rounds Cranberry Orange Bagel. Because we tested it for a short time last year and it went over so well, we're bringing it back to kick off the new year. Sometimes you crave something sweet. If cinnamon raisin bagels and blueberry bagels just don't do it for you, then try our new Cranberry Orange Bagel. It's my personal favorite. As for a new cream cheese flavor, how does apricot cranberry sound? Think about this with your taste buds. A cranberry orange bagel toasted well with an apricot cranberry schmear. Delicious, decadent, delightful, sweet. Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe in Vernon, Manchester, South Windsor, East Windsor, and Tolland. We'd love to see you. Visit BetweenRoundsBagels.com for franchise information and to order online.
A savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds. Between rounds. Between rounds. Between rounds.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Hey, y'all. We are back. Reese on the Radio right here. Don't forget my special tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. Roughly about maybe 3:30. What time do I have here? Let me see. I'll look up the thing. Let me see. I got that. Yep, 3:30. About 3:30. Stand by for that. It'll be absolutely fantastic. Also coming up, Don Lemon. We'll talk about him as well. So stand by for that. And also you can give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Why did the church thing happen? Simple. Everyone's life must be disrupted. And it isn't working anymore to just be at the ICE facility in Minnesota. It's not enough. Because there are people at that facility who are tearing down fences, attacking officers, wreaking havoc, and the optics look bad. The optics look really, really bad. Because, of course, there are some people who just can't help themselves and stay away. And those are usually your Antifa types, your violent types. They must get in the fray. And there are other people who are willing to pay them hundreds of dollars to go out there and wreak havoc. And when they're out there, they are stealing the message. Other people get sucked in to said violent message. And it goes crazy. So, people had to change gears. When we come back, after we do headlines, I'm going to prove to you exactly what I'm talking about. They need a view that they've lost hold of. In the beginning, it was all about Renee Good. That conversation is gone now. Why? Too much dirt, too ugly, too flawed. Her and her wife, Becca, not good people. Unfortunately, sorry, when it comes to this whole thing, they've got dirt on them. And when I say dirt on them, they're anti-immigrant, anti-ICE and anti-establishment leanings. Don't make them look good. The martyrdom thing is over. Right now, that's like subtext. They bring up Reagan, what's her name? Renee Good. They bring her up. Whenever they bring her up, it's always about, in the afterthought. And don't forget, and she got shot. They use that when they run out of every other talking point. What needs to happen, as far as this group is concerned, is that you, in your daily lives, are not affected enough by this. So now, just because you exist, because you refuse to get into the fray, because you refuse to join them, you must be terrorized now. And that's what happened at that church. They're terrorizing the average citizen. Now, I want you to think really, really hard about that. Why don't protesters get that that's always a mistake? That always backfires. You're in a church. If you are a devout Christian, Episcopalian, Pentecostal even, when you are at church, you took the time to go to church. You know what it's like to get some people to go to church? Men even. Honey, we're going to go to church today. The playoff game's today, right? Yes, but I promised the pastor we would be there to show support. Okay. All right. I'm going to listen to the game in my earphone, though. I'll just say I've got a hearing aid or something. Okay, fine. Come on, Stu. Stu gets down there. And he sits in a church. Why? Because he loves his wife. They've been married 30, 40 years. And who comes storming in? But a bunch of rabble-rousers. While my wife, Edith, is sitting there. Praising Jesus. Singing hymns. Meeting with her other fellow congregants that she loved. Ethel, it's so good to see you. Oh, I love the hat. Now all of that is getting completely disrupted. Why? Because a bunch of people want them, worshipers, to have their lives disrupted because they want illegals to stay in the community. And you think that they're going to say, I can't put up with this. I'm going to write a letter to President Trump. Will you please? My wife just wants to go to service. Do something. Move. That's what they think is going to, but it doesn't ever work that way. These protesters only turn people off because, as I told you, they always send in the animals. A decent human being would know better. They would absolutely feel guilty, a degree of shame, walking into a house of worship, no matter what denomination, and disrupting those people as they were in church singing and praising God. A normal human being couldn't do it. He would look at them and say, I don't know, dude. My grandmother goes to that church, man. I don't know if I could do that. But these people are animals. And that's why. When we come back, Don Lemon may have a federal investigation against him, and we have the proof that he deserves it. So stand by for that. John Silver's coming up. He is working today. God bless him. He's in the WTIC newsroom. We'll be back at Reese On The Radio.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
30 degrees, partly sunny skies in Hartford. We'll keep the breeze for the afternoon, and temperatures are going to start falling around here later on this afternoon into the evening, and by the time we get going tomorrow, we may not be out of the single digits. We'll have the forecast details from the WTIC Weather Center coming up. Meriden police on the scene of a shooting. Officers were called earlier this afternoon to an area of Cook Avenue. happened around noon. There's no word yet on the extent of any injuries or motive at this point. Fire Sunday night in Willimantic leaves a woman seriously injured. The fire broke out at the Armory Apartments on Pleasant Street. Victim is being treated for serious burns. The fire chief there, Ronald Palmer, tells WFSB firefighters worked hard to get a handle on the blaze.
The amount of fire that they had on arrival, keeping it contained to 6 units, was a major success.
Now, firefighters from 10 agencies assisted. They don't know yet what sparked that fire. It's one of several fires that have occurred around the state over the last day. A dozen people were displaced in a fire in Waterbury that began in a basement yesterday evening around 5. No injuries reported there. And early this morning, crews battled a fire in Granby. 1 person and 2 pets were able to make it out safely. A man who was helping plow a neighbor's driveway is dead after the ATV he was riding overturned. 83-year-old Andrew Connolly was pronounced dead at the scene on Mandel Drive, according to Southington police. He'd gone over an 8-foot retaining wall on that ATV. On the day America honors Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., they held the annual service at the church in Atlanta, where King was once pastor. Graham Carroll reports.
Hundreds gathering for the beloved community service at Ebenezer. Most people I talked to spoke of Dr. King's goals of peace and unity and why his message is as urgent as ever.
Uncertainty, a lot of people who are hungry, jobless, and there's a lot of violence.
In this climate, it means so much to say the word peace and to actualize it.
Hopefully, generations to come will know what this event means.
Another common refrain, do acts of service to better the community, and also be sure to show up and vote. Graham Carroll for CBS News, Atlanta.
President Trump says beginning next month, he will impose 10% tariffs on NATO allies who've sent military forces to Greenland. That goes to 25% if no deal is made to acquire the island by June 1st. More from correspondent Olivia Gazis.
That so-called trade bazooka, which is the nuclear option, if you want to mix military metaphors, that would let the EU go beyond tariffs and impose additional export controls, restrict intellectual property rights, moves that we assume American businesses would strongly dislike and oppose.
And the NFL coaching merry-go-round continues with the latest axing. Here's reporter Jim Fink.
What does a 98-50 regular season record and 7 straight NFL playoff appearances get you? Well, if you are now former Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott, it gets you fired, and members of the Bills Mafia left stunned and surprised, as fan Matthew Barton explains.
I'm surprised right now, yeah. I thought we were just going to stick with him.
What general manager Brandon Beane does next will be closely watched by the Bills fan base, as Matt Barton also says.
I did not see this coming.
Jim Fink for CBS News, Buffalo.
WTIC News time is 3:04. We've got a couple of issues out here, not in our general area, a little ways away, but still down in East Lyme on 95 southbound. We've got backups from between exits 80 and 73 down there. Looks like a 2-vehicle crash in the left lane in the mix between 74 and 73. Also in Shelton on Route 8, northbound side between exits 7 and 9. The right lane is blocked due to some debris in the roadway there. Let's check the WTIC Weather Center forecast.
The week is off to a chilly start. It's about to turn even colder tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Partly cloudy the rest of today with a chilly gusty breeze at a high of 32. Partly cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight, low 13. Partly sunny tomorrow, blustery and very cold, high 24. It'll feel as if it's in the teens. Be sure to wear layers with the extreme cold, and bitterly cold tomorrow night, turning out clear, low 4 above. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, not quite as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 31 degrees, and a break in the cold on Thursday. Mixture of clouds and sunshine, could be a rain shower the afternoon, Thursday's high 42. Return to colder weather on Friday, mix of sun and clouds, breezy, high 30, and turning frigid Friday night. Partly cloudy, dropping a low of 2 below 0. It'll stay bitterly cold this weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Saturday, and breezy with a high of only 10 above, probably dropping below 0 across the area once again Saturday night. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
All right, it's currently 31 right now in Hartford. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Wisdom teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
I'm elder law attorney Haley Allaire. Our greatest reward is happy clients telling us that they're very thankful for our help.
I'm Carolyn from Coventry. Recently, my 82-year-old mother had a few falls and ended up in rehab. What we thought would be temporary care became permanent. When we applied for Medicaid, it was overwhelming. From our first meeting with Allaire Elder Law, they listened and guided us, providing clarity, kindness, and compassion. We were finally granted Medicaid, and a huge weight came off my shoulders. Thank you, Allaire Elder Law team.
AllaireElderLaw.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Hereeth my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
We're back. Reese on the radio right here live, hanging out with you. And you can give us a call at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We'll talk a little bit about Martin Luther King Jr. in a bit. Stand by for that. That'll happen roughly about, 3:30, a little after 3:35. So stand by for that as well. But, of course, as we always do at this time, it's headlines. President Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill is expected to exacerbate wealth and income disparities in Connecticut, offering average tax breaks of nearly $10,000 to high-income residents while increasing costs by $417 annually for low-income ones, according to the Data Haven study. The bill rolls back Medicaid and SNAP eligibility alongside tax cuts favoring the wealthy. That was always said about Donald Trump every time something like this, the tax cuts come in, and it always turns out to be false, by the way, especially when Data Haven gives this number. Let me finish reading, though. Affluent towns like Greenwich could gain $262 million in relief, yet they still won't vote for Republicans. With high earners receiving up to over $30,000 yearly, while Stamford and Fairfield will see $239 million and $158 million, respectively. In contrast, Bridgeport faces a net $60 million change, but low-income households will lose over $14 million in services, costing them more than $1,000 yearly. Now, hold on. Costing them? That's not even remotely math. It can't cost you if you didn't make the money. And that's the little sleight of hand that's done here by Data Haven. These people aren't losing money. They're just getting less. They didn't make a thing. It would be something if they were actually producing something and getting paid for it and then lost money. No. That's not what this is. Anyway, moving on. President Donald Trump, seems to be a Trump day. President Donald Trump has vowed to cut federal funding from February 1st, 2026 to sanctuary jurisdictions. He accuses protecting criminals and enabling fraud. This builds on prior failed attempts ruled unconstitutional. Connecticut officials insist the state isn't a sanctuary and fully complies with federal law. What, really? What, really? As certified during Trump's first term, attorney William Tong highlights 45 successful lawsuits against the administration and readiness for more. Successful lawsuits? You mean they're pending? They're pending. The State's Trust Act, enacted in 2013, updated limits local cooperation with immigration authorities, including data sharing and courthouse protections, focusing on public safety. Though once labeled a sanctuary by the DOJ, later repealed, Connecticut emphasizes constitutional adherence under Governor Ned Lamont. Cities like Hartford prioritize safety for all without adopting Trump's rhetoric. Some towns have similar non-cooperation policies without the sanctuary label. The threats raise concern over arbitrary defunding, prompting state vows to protect immigrant communities and challenge any cuts legally. And, yeah, it's a short one today. So now we have the stupidest thing I read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Police in East Greenbush, New York, I don't even know where this is, issued a warning about juveniles pulling, wait for it, ding-dong ditch overnight, ringing doorbells and running away. They called it disruptive and said if caught, the kids could face harassment, trespassing, or disorderly conduct charges. Like they have always done, this story is an example of how the media forgot what it was like to be a normal kid. And that's the whole deal. That kids would do something, ding-dong. Have you ever done that, Roland? Have you ding-dong dash, or do you know anybody who may have at all? I've at least done that twice as a kid. I remember ordering pizza to a person's house. What? Okay, I'll admit that they're infantile and juvenile and even sophomoric, I might add. But ding-dong ditch, we've got to warn people about that? Be on the lookout. Some children may be running by your house, ringing your bell and running. I can't believe that it actually made a news cycle. Poor kids. It just doesn't. I don't get it. It is ridiculous. Speaking on being ridiculous, let's get to him. Don Lemon. This is interesting. Don Lemon, you all know, was a part of this group that went to the church in Minnesota. And I kind of want to go backwards here, because today, after it was found out that he was a part of this group that went down there, he is now screaming racism, as Don Lemon would do. So listen to this. This is him talking, one of these silly podcasters, that very, very unattractive blonde podcaster. I think our show's called Enough Already or some nonsense like that. Oh, that's weird. Gina Laurie just called me. Okay, let me find out. I'll call her back. Anyway, listen to this.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time, my producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
Yeah, so now Don Lemon thinks that Harmeet Dillon of the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice is going after him because he is a gay black male. But that's just hogwash. Let me explain. Here is Don Lemon telling everyone after the fact, as I said, we go backwards. After the events at the church, telling people he knew nothing about what was going on. Now he's screaming racism. But again, right before he screamed racism, he told everybody, I didn't know what was going on. They showed up and we just followed.
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests.
Now you heard that, right? We didn't even know they were going there. We followed them, he says.
I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism.
Yeah, he did an act of journalism. But that's not true at all. Because before the group even got to the church, Don Lemon was there. And he said this, not in private, not even in a private conversation that someone recorded. He filmed himself saying it.
They're getting the operation together. Again, this is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show. There are for this reason, it may look like MAGA coded, but there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here.
Now, again, not only is he explaining what's happening, he's also saying that this group made sure to have a lot of white people there so it didn't give the illusion that these people were rabble-rousers, agitators of the left. They said, in Don Lemon's own words, listen, he uses MAGA-like.
They look like MAGA coded.
See? It looks like MAGA, so no one would suspect them.
But there's a reason they have so many white people here. I'm just going to be honest. It's because of the operation that they're doing today. It's important to have allies, as they said, white allies here. So that is what I could say. I turned our camera off of them because they're giving some critical information here. But there we go. Everybody's ready to go.
Everybody's ready to go. He knows what's going on. He moved the cameras from them so that he would not record them planning out the whole thing, which he knew everything about. But don't take my word for it, folks. I don't want anybody to assume that I got that from Don Lemon being away from the group. Let's let Don Lemon show you.
Let's go. Okay. Thank you guys thanks for allowing me to be here. Thank you guys.
Okay.
How are you?
Good.
To see you. We're on. We're not saying what it is, what's going on, but
we're not saying what it is and what's going on. Don Lemon, there's your evidence, folks. Harmeet Dillon, that's your evidence. We're not saying what's going on, which means he had prior knowledge of it. He knew what was going on. Of course he did. What journalist wouldn't ask? Right? A smart journalist would say plausible deniability. We'll just ride along. But we didn't say what was going on. But hold on, just in case you folks on the left don't think maybe, Reese, that's thin, that's not enough. Don't worry.
Thank you. Tell us why you're doing this.
So
this is Nakima Levy Armstrong. She's on the show
Nakima
on
Levy
Friday.
Armstrong, civil rights attorney, longtime activist here in the community. And, we protest and do activism in all kinds of ways. This is Operation Pull Up, more of a clandestine operation. We show up somewhere that is a key location. They don't expect us to come there. And then we disrupt business as usual. So that's what we're about to go do right now.
So Don Lemon, again, remember what he told you. He knew nothing about it.
MAGA administration and the fake news MAGAs are losing their mind over something that's not even true. I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church.
I had no idea they were going to this church. He just showed up there. He just happened to be at the church, or he followed them. He was a part of the group. And thank goodness he recorded it and everybody has it, because it's everywhere now. And now there will be a civil rights charge because there were parishioners there. And parishioners, well, they have a constitutional right to praise and assemble. They do. And they are not allowed to be protested in that fashion. That is a violation of their constitutional rights to gather. There are no free speech protections at a house of worship. Not when you come there to disrupt. And you had no permit to do so. That is private property. And you could damn well bet Don Lemon is doing a whole lot of backpedaling now because he knows that Harmeet Dillon and especially the Trump administration is probably looking at that and says, you better throw all the books at him. All of them. Throw the genderqueer book at him too. All the books. You know damn well that's exactly what they're saying. Oh yeah, that's the Don Lemon guy. Oh, did he talk a lot of crap about the president? Oh, and he went in there to the church and disrupt those fine people? Oh, we got to do something about that. Hold on, I have the article here because I didn't get to print it. Fired CNN host Don Lemon might get prosecuted by the Justice Department for joining an anti-immigration and customs enforcement protesters who stormed a Minnesota church service on Sunday because the pastor is allegedly tied to ICE, Civil Rights Division Chief Harmeet Dillon implied on Sunday night. The Assistant Attorney General had already confirmed her division was investigating potential violations of the Federal Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act by the church crashers, a rare but statutorily permissible use of the 1994 law. It was overwhelmingly been used to prosecute pro-life activists who seek to blockade abortion clinics, with President Trump pardoning 23 in his first week back in office. A house of worship is not a public forum for protests, Dillon wrote on X, sharing Newsmax host Todd Barnes' quotes of the now independent video journalist Don Lemon when he explained to viewers that crashing the church was justified by the freedom of protest to protest. Protests are not comfortable, he said. So Harmeet Dillon saying, we got the guy on tape. And again, that's only because Don Lemon is an idiot. Always has been. You may say, but he's got 20 years on CNN. That means nothing. That means no thing. Let's go to the phones. Hey, Sharon. Sharon's calling from Simsbury. Hello. Sharon?
Hi, Reese. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Thank you. Just wanted to give a quick point.
Yes.
Don Lemon, yes, he said he is an idiot. So besides that, he is so disrespectful.
Yes.
Did he and his posse yesterday pulling that nonsense at that church, did they not realize that the people living in Minneapolis just had the church shooting on the first day of school in September?
That's right.
When two young children were killed, and the fear when he burst in with all his cameras and his nonsense, what must have gone through those parents and those kids' hearts.
Such a good point. Such a good point.
It was, what was that, 5 months ago?
Yeah.
And I don't know where it is in relation in the town, but in that city, they just had a shooting. And children, I believe 2 of them from memory were killed. Terrible.
You know, the thing
I hope
is,
Harmeet goes right after him. Harmeet will go right after him.
The thing is that you are 100% right, Sharon. There is a culmination of things that are happening in that town that those citizens who have been quiet, right? They have not been out in any protests. They're not online. They're not there's not this crazy, counter protest, if you will, against them. It's been the protesters versus ICE, and everybody else is just trying to live their life, not in the spotlight. And then you come to their house of worship to invite yourself into their life to be a part of this nonsense. And it's like you're creating enemies because, I always say if you're going to protest, you should always try to win hearts and minds. right? Show that you're
Yes.
celebrating whatever. In essence, there's a celebration of what you're fighting for, as I began in the opening monologue. Telling people in a consistent way what you are fighting for. Like earlier when I said about the Tea Party thing. Those people were saying taxed enough already. They are there to fight against being taxed too much by the Obama administration. These people are going after folks who are quietly worshiping and want no parts of that.
Exactly. The only thing that had hit me on that, and Don Lemon, or Lemon, as he's called on other channels, what a fool. And he'll get what he deserves, finally. You know, it was very disrespectful. And I just thought from my heart what was in the hearts and minds of the people when they saw what was going on. The pastor did an excellent job keeping it calm, keeping it peaceful. But, you know, just a few months ago, on the first day of school, at the Catholic school at Crosstown in Minneapolis, there was the situation.
Yeah, and again, who was it by? Who was it by? As far as on the ideological sphere, it's one of theirs. It's one of their folks, and then they again go into a house of worship. And you're 100% right. I'm sure that there's at least 1, 2, if not 5 people who are saying to themselves, "Oh my goodness! Like you're invading our space." Well, these people don't stop at nothing to come after us. And not only that, they've made it abundantly clear their abject anger about people who are just Christians or God-fearing or those who follow Jesus. They've absolutely just condemned people who are religious, as Don Lemon is doing, calling them white supremacists because they didn't want their church to be invaded. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, his day is coming, whether it's through Harmeet Dillon and her group or in the end.
You know what? Like listen, the fact that he's lost his job at CNN has made him desperate and attention-seeking, and that always fails when you're absolutely, like, for him, all I could see in that was just reckless fame-seeking, and you know what? In doing so, he obviously violated the law. I think I'm with you. I hope Harmeet Dillon goes all out against him.
She will. She's excellent. She's excellent. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for letting me call.
My
Have a
pleasure,
good day.
Sarah. You too. We'll be back. We got to take a break, and we'll return talking about Martin Luther King Jr. on this holiday celebration when we return. It's Reese on the Radio.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of UConn Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
What's up, world? It's Von Miller, Super Bowl MVP, chicken farmer, and now host of Free Range. This is a show where I go off the field and off the script. We're talking what's hot in music, film, trending news, and everything blowing up your feed. If you love football, you'll feel at home. But if you're here for the vibes, the internet deep dives, the conversation, this is your podcast. Join me every Wednesday. Follow and listen to Free Range with me, Von Miller, everywhere you get your podcast.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call
800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And now, a WTIC news update.
3:30, 30 degrees, partly cloudy skies in Hartford. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. We'll keep it breezy and chilly with a blend of sun and clouds for the rest of this Monday afternoon. The forecast details coming up. And get ready for an Arctic cold snap. It's actually round one. Temps will crash into the single digits and teens tonight. That has prompted Governor Lamont to activate the severe cold weather protocol beginning at 5. State agencies and municipalities will coordinate with United Way 211 to ensure those who need shelter and other assistance get it. As for the cold, there will be a brief respite midweek, but high temperatures may not make it out of the teens by the weekend. Woman was seriously injured Sunday night in a fire in Willimantic. Blaze broke out at the Armory Apartments on Pleasant Street. Victim sustained serious burns, is in the hospital. There's no word yet on a cause. About a half dozen units in that complex were damaged. This is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and the honoring of the slain civil rights leader would have been 97 on January 15th. Numerous activities are being held throughout the state and nationwide. The Peabody Museum in New Haven's been holding an all-day event, including meetings, conversation, and a poetry slam. Meriden police continue their investigation into a midday shooting. They say the shots rang out around noon on Cook Avenue. No word yet on the extent of any injuries. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will attend the Supreme Court's oral arguments Wednesday. It's a case involving the attempted firing of Fed Governor Lisa Cook. High Court considering whether the president can fire Cook, an attempt by the White House to remove an official appointed by former President Biden. And the Buffalo Bills have fired coach Sean McDermott after the team again failed to reach the Super Bowl in his 9 seasons. The move coming 2 days after the Bills were kicked out of the playoffs in a heart-wrenching 33-30 overtime loss to the Broncos in this weekend's divisional round. WTIC News Time 3:32. Here's the forecast.
Breezy and chilly the rest of this afternoon. Partly cloudy, high 32. Partly cloudy, breezy, and very cold tonight, low 13. Partly sunny, very cold tomorrow, the gusty breeze. Be sure to wear layers, high 24. It feels as if it's in the teens. Clear and bitterly cold tomorrow night with a low of 4. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, not quite as cold in the afternoon, high 31. And for Thursday, not as cold, a mix of clouds and sun, maybe an afternoon shower, high 42. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network in West Hartford. Looks like 2-vehicle crash westbound side of Interstate 84 between exits 40 and 39A as you approach Farmington. They should be off on the right shoulder there. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Apple is once again wearing the global smartphone crown thanks to strong demand for the iPhone 17 in the fourth quarter. Counterpoint Research says that Apple ended 2025 as the global smartphone sales leader, owning 20% of the market, after sales rose 10% compared to the previous year. Samsung took second place with 19% of the market, with Xiaomi coming in third and Vivo in fourth place. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by February 11th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hi, I'm Tom Tierney, owner of the Green Cremation, Connecticut's only water cremation facility. Our process uses a gentle, water-based alternative to flame, with no smoke, no fire, and no harmful emissions. It uses up to 90% less energy than traditional cremation and produces zero air pollution. We're proud to offer families a compassionate, earth-friendly way to honor a loved one. Visit thegreencremation.com to learn more or pre-plan today. Visit thegreencremation.com.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, but our greatest gift was years away. Grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Northeast Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you. It can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Northeast Men's Health will give you back your sex life because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818. Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours, thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV super pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back. It's Reese on the Radio on this Martin Luther King Jr. holiday edition of the program. We'll get into that in a second. We have plenty of stuff to get to. But you guys, of course, are calling in, so I want to get to the phone calls as quick as I can. And then I will talk about today's holiday, as it were. Let's start with Ralph in South Carolina. Hello, sir.
Reese, global warming hit South Carolina.
Wait a minute. Does that mean it's become incredibly warm or incredibly cold? Because you can't tell anymore.
How about 28 degrees this morning and colder tomorrow morning?
Yeah, it had to happen eventually.
A couple other things, Reese. Do you think if that was a mosque, they would have gone there?
No, because look, it's just, Ralph, I don't have to tell you. It's sort of like when you see like the pride parades or the gay protests or the transgender protests. They'll go to a Catholic church. First and foremost, they'll go to anybody celebrating what would be considered a Catholic or Christian religion. They would stay the hell away from a mosque because they know exactly how they be treated. And to be honest with you, the public officials would turn around. Even Mom Dottie would look exactly at the gay activists and go, now, you know that was dumb, right? Come on.
Well, another thing, too, Reese, that I'd like to bring up is why, if you're black and you're being investigated, they claim it's racist.
Probably because, again, the law, what Don Lemon is trying to tell people, and that's the whole, that's the skirting over the issue, is that because Don Lemon is gay and black, he couldn't have possibly broken any law. The only reason why they would target him is because he's gay and he's black. Not that he did something unconstitutional. Not that he violated somebody's constitutional rights. That it cannot be about that. Make it about being black and being gay, and people will immediately glom to that. He knows it's nothing more than a dog whistle and a race and gay card.
Right, but look what happened with the Somalis. I mean, everything is racism. Did they do it or not? That's what I want to know.
I'm sorry. Look, we
are
not. Listen, we are Somalian. You know where we come from. Fraud happens every day. Why do you have to pick on us? What about everybody else who does fraud? And this is always the argument by people who cannot defend the undefensive,
right.
the undefendable. That's why that's it. Go ahead.
One last thing, Reese, if I can. Would you like to go into business with me? Let's start a male birth control pill business. And what we can do is the liberals and all the progressives, they'll buy stock. And we can start a business, sell the stock, and we can, making up a birth control pill for a man shouldn't be too tough.
I want nothing in the pharmaceutical business, but nonetheless, thank you. Appreciate you, Ralphie. Have a good one. Let's go to Lori. Hello, Lori.
Hi, how are you?
What's going on?
Oh gosh, well, I'm sorry for the way that I sound. Every time I come back from visiting my brothers, I end up getting sick. So hopefully I'm on the other side.
What virus do you have now?
I know, right? I think it's my niece was diagnosed with flu A as I was preparing to go to the airport, and she had been all over me, giving me all the cuddles and snuggles before I left. And so I was like, okay, maybe, I've got a pretty good immune system. I had the flu last year last time I came back from Florida. Sure. And I'll be fine this year. Nope. But see, and Don Lemon should learn, because I should learn, that hubris is never a good thing.
Never
have pride in something that you think you've got a handle on, but in reality, it's not under your control.
Which shows that it's a good point about all of this. Don Lemon has spent so much time in a studio working as a so-called journalist. He clearly does not know how the real world or how journalism operates on the ground.
Well, his ego won't let him.
Yep.
But I didn't necessarily call to talk about him. I do have a incredibly funny, as you would assume I would, funny story about a ding-dong ditch.
Oh, please.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So I was a resident director for a boys program in the town where I live. And we had they used to take me to the stupidest movies. Mm-hmm. And I would chaperone them. I would walk in. I would stand about as much as I could of the stupid movies. And then I would go out to the lobby and just wait for them for the rest of the time.
Oh, really? You wouldn't sit for the whole film?
One of the movies. Well, would you if it was Bad Grandpa? Come on. Movie was the...
I watched that whole movie.
IQ point.
I watched that whole thing.
IQ point.
No, not for the fairer of the sexes, I will admit.
Oh, my heavens. So we watched the movie Bad Grandpa, and we were leaving the theater, and they're like, oh, man, could we do something stupid like a ding-dong ditch? And I'm like, what? And they said, yeah, could we do a ding-dong ditch? And I'm like, oh, gosh. And we happened to be in a town that was close to where my parents live.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, okay, well, if we're going to ding-dong ditch anybody, we're going to ding-dong ditch my parents.
Of course.
That at least they'll be reasonable about it. So we drive to their house, and please know that it was a big green van.
Okay.
So it didn't look suspicious at all.
Okay.
This big green van with this white chick driving and a bunch of urban boys. Oh, yeah, no, we did look suspicious. So, anywho, we go to the house. One of them jumps out of the van, runs, two of them, I think it was, jump out of the van, go to the door, ring the doorbell, run back to the van, and they come in, they close the door, and I take off. and I'm like, okay, are you guys happy? And they're like, yeah, thanks so much for letting us do that. And I called my mom and I said, hi, yes, somebody just rang your doorbell. As they're doing the ding dong ditch, I'm calling her to let her know that it's us.
Yes.
And but of course she doesn't answer the phone. But so I left her a message and said, don't worry, nothing's wrong. It's just we just rang your doorbell. The boys wanted to do a ding dong ditch. I'm sorry. And I hang up and I leave the message. So we leave, and next thing I know, we're being followed. So I'm driving away down the street on the way to go back to the town where we live, and I'm like, geez, that's weird. It seems like somebody's following us. And in a big white pickup truck.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, and the boys are just like, yeah, like, what's going on? We're being followed. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Next thing I know, we're going over a bridge, and the pickup truck's got the hazards on, and I'm being followed now by a patrol car.
Oh, no.
So so there I am. You know, we get over the bridge. We get to a place where the police officer felt like he could safely pull me over. And so he pulled me over. He said, hi, do you have your license and registration? I said, sir, I'm going to tell you right now, we were at my parents' house. The boys saw the stupid movie, Bad Grandpa. They wanted to do something dumb like a ding-dong ditch. So I thought the safest people to do it to were my parents. That's why we were in their neighborhood, and that's what we did, and I'm not sure why you're pulling me over. And he's just like, you could tell he was suppressing a laugh.
Right.
And he's just like, oh, he's like, so you're attached with these boys? And I said, yes, sir. I am their resident director. I just chaperoned them to the movie. I don't sanction what they want to watch. I just take them to the movies and let them do their thing. And I thought they're stupid teenage boys. If they want to ding-dong ditch somebody, it's better
do it
to have
safely.
it be somebody that we know
Yeah.
rather than somebody that we don't know. And he's just laughing. He's just like, God bless you. And I said, thank you. And
But what prompted...
He's just like, just go on your way, honey, because clearly no ticket is going to... clearly you pay already a high price for what you do. So
Wait a
don't
minute.
you worry.
So who was the pickup truck following you? Was that a neighbor alerting to what the kids are doing, following you, and then alerting police?
So come to find out that I did not know that in my parents' neighborhood as of late, there had been some shenanigans.
Ah, so it's neighborhood watch.
Yes. And of course it's Italians. Like everybody in the neighborhood is Italian.
So in thinking you picked the right neighborhood, you have essentially picked the wrong one.
And I said to my mom, I said, well, at least you know that your neighbors are looking out for you.
That's true.
The benefit of all of this.
That is the benefit.
And I gave a police officer a really good story to tell his wife when he got home.
Yeah.
So, that's...
But I'm going to give it to you, Lori. You know what? I got to tell you, it's smart that you picked your parents, even though I don't know, there's a part of me that just says, damn, why would you do that to your parents? But I get it. You just didn't want the boys to get in trouble. You were alerting your mom of what was going on. It's just the outside forces you can't control.
Exactly.
Which, again, goes to the old saying, Lori, no good deed goes unpunished.
And if that's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be me.
Indeed, but that's actually a really, really good story. I'm glad everybody made it out safely. I really am. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Lori. We're going to take a break. I know we're going to get into the whole deal with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You don't want to miss it. You just don't. And it's sort of my response to why we can't play the I Have a Dream speech. But I'll lay it out for you in a little bit. We may have to push it back, but stand by. We're going to get into it in a quick second. Plus, I've got text messages and emails to read and stuff like that. So we'll go to a break, and then we'll come back. And then we'll take Bob, who's in New Britain. Bob, stand by. We'll get to you in a second. Is it Rob? Oh, darn it. It's Rob in New Britain. See, it looks like a B. That's not my fault. Rob is in New Britain. We'll get to him when we come back as well. It's Reese on the Radio.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we don't have any. Are we still doing weather? We're just not doing traffic today, of course, because of the holiday. So stand by for that if you want to know what the weather like. It looks pretty outside. This is the type of weather that looks fantastic because it's everything. All the snow is white and all the snow is on the trees and the branches. It is perfect right here. Wednesday, crud. It's going to look like, again, nature's litter. It's going to be brown. It's going to be dirty. Ow. Ow. If it doesn't get warm, it's just going to be there. It's going to be dirty. People have been walking on it, out there making snow things and all that stuff, playing in it, making it all dirty. I love it when it's white and pristine. White and pristine. Let's go to Rob. He's in New Britain. Hello, Rob.
Hello, the Rhythm the Rebel.
What's going on, big guy?
Hey, not too much. You know, a couple things. One was I was watching a special on Chappelle, you know, comedy special. And
yeah.
He talked about how it was Stevie Wonder who went to Congress and got them to make Martin Luther King Day a holiday for his birthday.
Uh-huh.
And I never knew that. I was just like, wow.
I'm sure he was part of a coalition of people who wanted to make it a federal holiday. There were a lot of people who pushed back against that. Many people don't know that it was a bipartisan pushback to make Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday federal.
The Democrat that passed away, John something, last year.
Oh, John McCain in Arizona, and the other person who, as a nice little sort of elbow to the civil rights movement, people forget this, was William Jefferson Clinton, also known as the first black president.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton, let me tell you how. A lot of people don't know this. Go look it up. On the same date as Dr. Martin Luther King's holiday, Arkansas also made Robert E. Lee Day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let me say this about Jack Lemmon. I hope they make real lemonade out of that sucker.
Thank you, Rob, as always,
Love
sir.
you guys.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
bye.
You got it. Yeah, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's a weird story. And when we come back to the top of the hour, I'll explain this to you. It's really, really complicated. I was watching an old HBO series called Assume the Position with Robert Wall. A lot of you will remember Robert Wall from this movie, particularly. He had an HBO series called Arliss, for those of you who remember. But for those of you who may not have watched that program, he was the reporter in the first Batman movie with Michael Keaton. You know, he was partnered up with Vicky Vale, played by Kim Basinger. And Robert Wall is, I want to call him sort of a historian of sorts. He's passed away recently. I think he's since passed. And I could be wrong. I'll double check that. I have a feeling that he has. But he had a TV show on HBO called Assume the Position. And what he did was he went into a college classroom and he taught things about history. And I think one of the lines he said was, these are the stories that made up America and America made up. And many I was very familiar with. Some not so much. But I saw the first episode of this, and I'm driving, coming from Wegmans, which I'll, by the way, talk about very soon, my trip to Norwalk. And I told Roseanne, find this video, and we have HBO. She put it on, and she watched the episodes. We listened to them all the way home, and it was so much fun to relive it. But Robert Wall said something in this series that I remembered. That's why I told her to bring it up. And it's what Napoleon said about history, and many others to follow. We'll bring all of that up when we do. Stand by. Let's say a retrospective of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when we return. Stand by for that. It's Reese on the Radio. We don't have traffic, but we will get to weather, and we'll return in a moment right here on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I love technology.
Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080. Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news.
Don't cancel me yet. Give me yeah. Wake up, phone glow, scrolling like, let's see. Everybody mad at somebody that's not me. New post saying breathing is offensive. I'm like, I just woke up, how am I a menace? One day, Charles say every dude is toxic. Tuesday, they need a strong man for the optics. One thread say, man, sit down, stay quiet. Next clip, where the girl is at? I can't find her. One show say my grandma's kinda backwards. Same show, losing Brahma slinging now, but after old folks school and did they shout in the segment? In proud with signature, we lost all our blessings. They like that's racist. Can't set it or erase it. Blink twice wrong and they case it. Whole world yelling that's racist. That's racist. Dip side same phrase.
Dropping a low of 2 below zero. It'll stay bitterly cold this weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Saturday and breezy with a high of only 10 above. Probably dropping below zero across the area once again Saturday night. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
It's 4 o'clock. Hartford temperature 29 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva. WTIC 1080 News. President Trump has taken to social media to explain why the U.S. needs Greenland for security purposes. More from correspondent Olivia Rinaldi.
In this True Social post, he said because of the Golden Dome and the offensive and defensive weapons as a part of that, it is important for the U.S. to acquire Greenland. He said it's a highly complex system that can only work at its maximum potential and efficiency because of the angles and bounds if the land of Greenland is included.
Now, the president is threatening additional tariffs of 10% against 8 NATO allies who oppose his plan to take over the Arctic island from Denmark, which has overseen the territory for centuries. If no deal is struck by June 1st, then those tariffs may be pushed to 25%. In Meriden, police continue their investigation into a midday shooting. Officers got the call to an area of Cook Avenue around noon. They still haven't said yet whether anyone was actually hit by gunfire, or are there any injuries, or what the motive was for that shooting. Woman was seriously injured in an apartment fire Sunday night in Willimantic. Crews were called to the Armory Apartments on Pleasant Street. The fire chief there, Ronald Palmer, tells WFSB firefighters from around the area were called in to assist.
A total of 10 fire departments operated on scene during the height of the fire.
Now, the woman is injured, sustained serious burns, and is being treated at an area hospital. It took firefighters about 2 hours to knock the blaze down. Total of 6 apartments were damaged, and they haven't figured out yet what started that fire. One of several, actually, in Connecticut over the last day or so. Fire in Waterbury Sunday night left a dozen people displaced. Basement fire forced 8 adults and 4 children out of a home on Country Club Road. There were no injuries. And another fire in Granby is under investigation. 1 person and 2 pets were able to make it out safely. In Minneapolis, CBS's Ian Lee has the latest on ICE protests that have prompted troops to be put on standby.
The feel-like temperature right now is negative 18, but you still have about a dozen protesters out there. And over the weekend, still freezing temperatures. You still had fairly large turnouts. Out here, dozens of people. In downtown Minneapolis, you had hundreds of protesters turn out. And also, when you speak to just members in the communities, neighbors, they have organized to help bring food and other supplies to migrant families in high.
And there is word of a chicken recall. Correspondent Jennifer Kuiper has that.
Susanna's Kitchen in Georgia has recalled over 13,000 pounds of ready-to-eat chicken breast filet products, which were sold in 7 states. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the products may have been contaminated with listeria. The recalled products were produced last October 14th and sold in 10-pound cases containing 2 5-pound bags of cooked grilled chicken breast fillets with rib meat. No illnesses reported. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
From the WTIC 24-hour traffic network in West Hartford, 84 westbound, the exit 40 off-ramp is closed due to a crash. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpractice your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080, WTIC.
There's a story that I actually had Roseanne looking up. We might talk about it on Friday. The World Economic Forum spreading disinformation about capitalism and a whole bunch of other stuff. A woman did this interview about how she was blackballed, lost everything, forced to move back home with her parents when she discovered some of the mis and disinformation, as these bozos try to call it, flat out lies that these people were spreading. And then, sort of affecting governments across the globe. And she saw that and she couldn't believe it was going out. And because she had said something about it, they ended up destroying her life. But Roseanne watched the very long piece. I have to admit, that woman, there's a reason why I will give her anything that she ever was. Because she said to me, I can't believe how boring that thing was. I felt so bad that I made her do it. Speaking of having to do something yesterday, Roland, real quick. So we went down to is it Norwalk? Is that where we went? Yeah, Norwalk, to go check out the Wegmans that's down there. I will admit this. I love the parking lot is covered. The building is massive, but the inside no bigger than the one that we have in Northern Virginia. But still nice, very clean. And there were some different things. The coffee kiosk was really nice. And here's why I say it was really nice. So we get there, and we just show up, and we hadn't had our coffee yet. So we go there, and we get coffee, and this guy named Pierce was there. So we get the coffee, and Roseanne wants to go get a chocolate croissant, and I wanted a bagel. So we were like, but wait a minute, there's a self-checkout right here next to the coffee kiosk. But we want to go all the way back there to get some coffee. Like, do we need to do that and then go back? He said, no. Drink your coffee. Go get your stuff. Go look at the store and come back and pay after. I was like, whoa. But then I remembered the damn place has got my biometrics in the building.
Yeah, where you going?
It's like, I was like, where you going? If you walk out without paying, we're going to know.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, man. I said, but there's a degree of that I had to say, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's like, he was just like, no. Enjoy your coffee. Go get your bagel. Go get your chocolate croissant. Come back up.
This is a safe space. You don't have to worry about nothing.
Goodness, I didn't think about it. So sure enough, we get that. We did pay for it. We went right back, checked it out, and then went upstairs. We ate, and then we went shopping. Roseanne only had one complaint about the place, and that was they didn't have her essential oils. It was a very limited bunch of her essential oils, but they had a lot of vitamins there that she was very, very expensive, that she was very interested in. We almost broke the bank in that place, but we walked out with some olive oil, and I think it was about it. It's maybe some other stuff. I can't remember what some stuff was.
We spent
how much?
I think we spent $160 something.
Okay.
But then we also I went and put the groceries in the car.
And then
we came back in and ate.
What did you have?
I had a bowl. I'm a simple dude, so you can't ask me. She had some sushi and
I did see a guy having sushi there.
Some other stuff. She was like, it was great. But I had a bowl of jasmine rice.
Okay.
Chicken and jasmine rice and chicken.
Let me tell you this. We spoke to that guy Pierce at the coffee kiosk. They have to bring Wegmans up here.
Yeah.
They got to do it. Even he was saying, he was like, look, we've only been here, I think he said about 6 months was what he thought. And he said, we've got to bring one up there. He goes, but we got to see at least a year what we look like down here. And then, of course, we would expand. But the first place they want to expand to is Milford.
That's not down here.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, Milford? I'm like, dude, get to Hartford.
That's even... Well,
it's technically the same distance, but no one's going to go to Milford for this place.
Well, Milford people...
they'll love it.
They're trying to stay... Seems like they're trying to stay close to New York as possible.
Yeah, I think that's also true. But they need... Look, they're already in Buffalo. Just come across it's with the border. Bring it up here, because people would like it. Now, shop right and stop and shop.
It's going to be shut. They're going to be out of business.
No, you have to step up your game, gentlemen.
Then it won't be,
It would be, because people will love this place. You'll fall in love with it the minute you walk in. Like I said, it's not one of those places. I tell you, Whole Foods is a little different, right? It's got a certain atmosphere. You walk in, there's yoga pants, Lululemons everywhere. All these health-conscious people, you almost feel intimidated. I can't spell half the things that's on there. Nothing against Whole Foods. It's just not my cup of tea. Wegmans is like that nice little middle
Stu
ground.
Leonard's.
Yes. It's like right in that special place. It's like, it's perfect. So it'll be years before they get up here. But if they do, it's going to be a lot of problems, as they say. A lot of problems.
Yeah.
We got to take a break. Let's get some weather. We'll come back. I will finally lay out my case about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday. You won't be mad. You might be upset, but you won't be mad. We'll be back.
Sponsored by Petro Home Services. Winter weather won't stop Petro from keeping you warm. With reliable delivery and 24/7 service in any weather, go to petro.com to get $125 free heating oil or call 877-230-0221.
WTIC weather.
About Barack Obama after the Iranian nuclear deal where he dumped cargo.
Clear tomorrow night, bitterly cold, dropping into the single digits, about 4 above for a low tomorrow night. Sunshine giving way to clouds on Wednesday, not as cold, high 31. It's currently 28 degrees in Bristol. It's 29 in Windsor and 30 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Winter is a great time to have the Peter L. Brown Company vinyl side your home. We need to keep our crews busy, so ask us about our winter specials. Let us show you the difference between a beautifully installed Peter L. Brown vinyl siding job and a not-so-good siding job. You don't need to break the bank to get great siding. Financing is available. Please visit peterlbrown.com for roofing, siding, windows, and doors.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam! Let's go!
One subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out.
Let's go!
Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month. Only on Paramount Plus.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It's Reese on the Radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we're back. Now, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, in a lot of ways, back in the days when I first started in radio, I can openly and honestly admit that I used to poke fun at the hip-hop community on this day. I can tell you that right off the bat, that when I would talk about this day, when it came to the black community or the hip-hop and R&B community, I would clown this day. But the foil would be the hip-hop and R&B community. How it started is real simple. Now, I grew up like many other young black kids, loving and adoring and respecting the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But there was one day when I had a turn, and I was in Manhattan, and I was in Harlem. No, not necessarily Harlem, just south of Harlem, on Fifth Avenue. And it was the annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. parade. And unlike other parades in other towns in the South, this one did not end in gunfire. But it was embarrassing nonetheless. Why? No one showed up. A bunch of kids who had practiced, who were going to be out in the cold playing instruments, girls twirling their batons, celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King. It's supposed to be an achievement. They're out there showcasing their talents for the people who would watch. And let me tell you something. There were more people outside of museums on Fifth Avenue, far from Harlem, than there were people who showed up in Harlem. It was embarrassing. It broke me. And then came the jokes. As soon as I got on radio, I ripped folks to shreds. I told them that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday was nothing more than a day off to the black community, and they knew it. But they tried to cancel me for it. They came after me. How dare he? What are you doing on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday? How will you be celebrating his legacy? What will you be doing for your community? Chirp, 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 chirp. Crickets, damn it. Crickets. Nobody had an answer. It doesn't matter what I'm going to be doing. You shouldn't be saying that. But I did, and I will continue. It doesn't matter. This case is still the same today. It's 2026. If you'd have asked them, what are you doing today? Somebody's saying, well, with the day off, I'm finally going to head to the bank. Oh, no, you can't do that anymore. It's a federal holiday. Well, can't do that. You'll run some other chores, I'm sure. But celebrating it, I mean, you know, what are you going to do? Watch Juice? Huh? What are you going to do? Huh? You know, watch like a Tyler Perry movie? Yeah, I get it. I clown it. I know. It's just who I am. But don't get mad at me. Do something so that I can sit back and go, oh, you know what? They showed me up. But they won't, because they're intellectually lazy. But that's not why you came, right? It isn't. I just want to let you know where I am in all of this. Started as a kid, loving and adoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thought it was important for us as African Americans to celebrate his holiday. I mean, for crying out loud, Stevie Wonder made a happy birthday song about him that then African Americans commandeered for themselves, which I always say every time they play happy birthday or sing happy birthday at some schmo's birthday party, everybody goes, happy birthday to ya. You know what I say every time? This is Stevie Wonder's song to Martin Luther King Jr. It's not your birthday song. Just sing happy birthday to you and get it over with. That's for everybody. Stop singing Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday song. It's for him, not for you. What did they say? That's just our culture thing. Okay, fine. Disrespect the man. Fine. So if you can disrespect him, you won't be too mad at me. It's come to my attention that everything I thought about Dr. Martin Luther King is a farce. It's a lie. But before I get there, I want to quote some people. These people are very famous for talking about history and how it applies to our society. The history that is true and the history that we know. As I said earlier, I was watching Robert Wall on Assume the Position on HBO. You can still find episodes. There are only 2. If you have an HBO Max account, you can go watch it. You should. It's pretty entertaining. And in that first episode, Robert Wall says a quote by Napoleon Bonaparte. I'd like to read it, but I'd like to read others. Bonaparte said, history is a myth that men agree to believe. Voltaire said, history is a fable agreed upon. John F. Kennedy said, the great enemy of the truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Thomas Jefferson said, nothing can now be believed which is seen in a newspaper. Truth itself becomes suspicious by being put into the polluted vehicle. Thomas Jefferson said that. That's the media today. The history of our race to each individual's experience are sewn thick with evidence that a truth is not hard to kill and that a lie told well is immortal. Mark Twain. History often resembles myth because they are both ultimately the same stuff. J.R.R. Tolkien. I've always preferred mythology to history. History is truth that becomes an illusion. Mythology is an illusion that becomes reality. Jean Cocteau. Myth is much more important than true history. History is just journalism, and you know how reliable that is. Joseph Campbell. A lie told 1,000 times becomes truth. Joseph Goebbels. When fiction rises pleasing to the eye, men will believe because they love the lie. But truth herself, if clouded with a frown, must have some solemn proof to pass her down. Charles Churchill. The rules are simple. They lie to us. We know they're lying. They know we know they're lying, but they keep lying to us, and we keep pretending to believe them. That's Elena Gorakova, a Soviet history and propaganda teacher who wrote a book called A Mountain of Crumbs. People have said a lot of things about history. I just wanted to give you a few, if not a lot. History is never what they tell us. And Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is not the hero they tell us. And it is well documented. And it is there for everyone to read. And I did. And I am upset at myself because the only person responsible for believing that lie is me, not the people who told it. It's me. If I cared enough, if I really, really related to him, I would have learned this on my own, not having someone tell it to me and then having to do the research to debunk said truths to only be embarrassed. But in the world that we live in today, we cannot accept truths because they do embarrass us and our beliefs. It is an admission of wrongdoing by us all when we realize not only were we lied to, but that we believed it so willingly. And I did, because the myth of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. seemed so perfect, seemed so mythical. And indeed, it was those things, mythical. So, to learn that the family of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. do not want you to hear the I Have a Dream speech without them getting paid for it, I figured I'd let you hear someone else who wanted his words spread to everyone. And he was the man who Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. tried to destroy. But when you hear this man's words, you will understand why he did. This is Joseph Harrison Jackson. Reverend Joseph Harrison Jackson. A person we should all be looking out to understand and recognize. He passed away in 1990. Here's a speech that is absolutely relevant today.
I've come to talk to you tonight about national unity, the strength of the nation. I wish the skies were clear. I wish the waters were calm. I wish we enjoyed the certainty and the security that we once enjoyed. We have recently been reduced to just pigmentation, Negro Americans. They call us now the blacks. Yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. One adjective explains all of us. Not doctors and lawyers, and businessmen, laborers, preachers, the blacks. this nation today is more insecure in all of its history. Enemies around us, both home and abroad. We face one of the greatest military machines since the days of Napoleon, and they're determined that we will not last. We have within our borders divisions, fears, animosities, misunderstandings, prejudices, conflicts, a will to destroy, group against group. These are dangerous times. There were some people who said it is not by obedience to law, it's by disobedience to law that we can have our strength and our power and our security.
And we feel that we have to do it this way in order to bring the evil out into the open.
The Office of Economic Opportunity.
The federal government has sent out teams to find out what is wrong in the United States. Sociologists have studied it, and they talk about money.
Many aspects can only be successfully dealt with at a national level. For example, wages.
I want to tell you tonight what is wrong with America, basically. The basic problem facing the United States of America today is we're trying to take a foreign ideology.
Are the communists running this country?
And solve America's
The
problems.
Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the Young Socialist Alliance, the Du Bois Club.
There is an ideology which says that the future is based on class struggle.
We are poverty-stricken, and we have been at the bottom too long. All right. And we are determined to come up.
That same school of thought, when it moves among people, if it does not find a conflict, it creates one.
It is necessary to create a problem in order to get to the real solution of the problem.
That ideology says that there can be no freedom for individual citizens until every order, every form of government is destroyed, but the one in which they believe.
That there must be a restructuring of the architecture of our society where values are concerned.
You cannot spend enough money to buy patriotism. You cannot spend enough money to buy loyalty. You cannot spend enough money to buy character. For morals cannot be purchased with money, and cash is no guarantee of character.
Joseph Harrison Jackson right here on Reese on the Radio. Go look him up. We'll be back after this.
WTIC weather.
The week is off to a chilly start. It's about to turn even colder tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Partly cloudy the rest of today with a chilly gusty breeze at a high of 32. Partly cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight, low 13. Partly sunny tomorrow, blustery and very cold. High 24. It'll feel as if it's in the teens. Be sure to wear layers with the extreme cold, and bitterly cold tomorrow night. Turning out clear, low 4 above. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness. Not quite as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 31 degrees, and a break of the cold on Thursday. Mixture of clouds and sunshine. Could be a rain shower in the afternoon. Thursday's high 42. Return to colder weather on Friday. Mix of sun and clouds, breezy, high 30, and turning frigid Friday night. Partly cloudy, dropping a low of 2 below zero. It'll stay bitterly cold this weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Saturday, and breezy with a high of only 10 above. Probably dropping below zero across the area once again Saturday night. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
29 degrees at 4:30. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Meriden police have a shooting investigation on their hands. They were called to an area of Cook Avenue around noon today. Not much more in the way of information at this point. Still no word on the extent of any injuries or a motive. Several fires reported in Connecticut in the last day. A woman was seriously burned in a fire in a Willimantic apartment complex on Sunday night. In Waterbury, a dozen people were displaced when a fire broke out in the basement of a Country Club Road home on Sunday. And in Granby, one person and two dogs had to be rescued following an early morning fire in that town. Milford police say thieves struck a Macy's in the Connecticut Post Mall over the weekend. The crooks reportedly made off with $50,000 in jewelry. Investigators say 3 cases were smashed with hammers. The suspects made their getaway in a motor vehicle. Man who was helping plow a neighbor's driveway is dead after the ATV he was riding overturned. 83-year-old Andrew Conley was pronounced dead at the scene on Mandel Drive in Southington. He'd gone over an 8-foot retaining wall on the ATV, according to police. EU leaders are using language like intimidation and blackmail to describe President Trump's threat of new tariffs over Greenland. Trump repeated his call for the U.S. to take control of the island, saying it is in the best interests of U.S. security. And 60 Minutes says it'll air that report on Trump administration deportations, a version of which was abruptly pulled from its broadcast a month ago. That coming up this coming Sunday. The network announced less than 2 hours before its broadcast that correspondent Sharon Alfonsi's report about migrants sent to El Salvador's notorious Sicat prison would air, giving no immediate details on how much it was changed. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Today, I'm at the driving range. Mostly, I'm on the basketball court. That's my jam, basketball. Dan talks me into trying golf. Dan's my mentor in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. Besides golf, Dan's gotten me into going to plays and reading more. I've gotten him into Thai food and Fortnite. Some things I'm good at, some things Dan is. Dan's over at the pro shop getting another bucket of balls. I'm watching him in his green pants with little pink wheels. I made a 300-yard drive a few minutes ago, so I'm kind of liking golf. But only if green pants aren't part of the deal. Seriously, who wears bright green pants with pink wheels?
It's National Mentoring Month. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Connecticut needs diverse men and women volunteers now. Have fun and change your life. Visit ctbigs.org to find out more.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1238 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1238. That's 800-549-1238. What do you have to lose? Call 800-549-1238. Again, 800-549-1238.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, we're back. Now, I normally don't tell people to do this because there is a cost to it. But I did it for you, and I got to be honest with you, I enjoyed it so much that you must watch it. So that clip that I played, and why it's so important from the Reverend Joseph Harrison Jackson, the reason why I played it is because it was posted today by a guy by the name of Chad Jackson, or Chad O. Jackson. Many of you have forwarded his, not info, but his stuff to me. I've known about this guy since the first film he did called Uncle Tom. And he is a younger black male. He's probably in his 40s now. Business owner. And he did this one documentary called Uncle Tom. Now, if you want to watch that movie, I would say, yes, please do, so you can understand his work. If you want to find it, download the free app Tubi on your television. Do you have that? Do you stream a lot of stuff on your thing, Roland? You don't watch Tubi? Okay. Well, I only watched it because the only reason why I downloaded Tubi is because there was a movie that I really love called The Principal with James Belushi and Lou Gossett Jr. And I wanted to watch it, and it was like, oh, it's free on Tubi. I was like, I'll download Tubi. And then in watching Tubi, I saw Uncle Tom there, and I know I watched the first one, but I never watched part 2. Well, lo and behold, they're both there. And Chad O. Jackson is the producer of both. And then I hear he's doing this thing called the MLK Project. What's this about? Now, I had heard the rumblings about some of the things that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was accused of being a part of, and they're, of course, usually salacious stuff. Did he have affairs against his wife? Clearly he did. There were several women. But then somebody sent me something a couple of days ago, and I chose not to bring it up today because it would be so poorly received. But let me just tell you, when the story is finally released from the FBI files in 2027, there is going to be hell to pay. And it will start a conversation I know is going, there will be fights. That's how bad it is. And again, there will be concrete evidence to what they release. And people will not know how to take it. It's so bad. Okay? It's really bad. And they have kept it hidden for this long. In fact, I was the one who told you not too long ago that I am of the belief that it is so bad that it may not be released in 2027. Even though people know exactly what it is. So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to kick that hornet's nest today, not out of fear, because I almost felt like it was unnecessary. So I will let the federal government do what it does. If it comes out and we have to discuss it, we'll discuss it. I don't want to be the guy. I just don't. Just don't. Anyway, that being said, aside from that stuff about the cheating and the affairs and stuff, I didn't want to get into all of that. That's not what it's about. It's about what he truly believed. And that's what really, really hurt my vision of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So if you're interested in seeing the MLK Project, please look it up. I think it's available on Vimeo. And each episode is about $5-6. There are 8 in total. Or you could buy the entire package, which is about $40. But I will tell you, you should at least watch it. It is a tutorial into the history of the civil rights movement. And as I mentioned in the beginning about the myth, they lay out how it was all put together. Step by step by step. And what's beautiful is that Chad O. Jackson uses Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and every one of the individuals who were part of that movement in their own words and own writings. We're talking in their own writings, in their own words. There is no hyperbole or conjecture at all. So I would implore you to watch it. We'll take a break. Let's get some weather, and we'll return more news and more views and continue with the show right here on WTIC.
WTIC weather.
Breezy and chilly the rest of today. Partly sunny, high just above 30. Partly cloudy tonight with a gusty breeze. It'll become colder, dropping a low of 13. Very cold tomorrow and blustery. Partly sunny, high just 24. And of course, really colder with the wind. Not quite as windy tomorrow night, but bitterly cold and clear. Low tomorrow night, 4 above. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, high 31 degrees. A break in the cold weather on Thursday as temperatures climb above 40. Right now, it is 28 degrees in Durham. It's 29 in Wallingford and 30 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune in to Baffling Mysteries to find out.
This fictional podcast is brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Nicholas Russo, 157 Church Street, New Haven, 06510.
Let's ring in the new year by finally checking off something that actually matters. Your old videotapes and photos are fading more every year. VCRs are disappearing, and the clock is ticking to save your family's most important memories. Hi, I'm Adam Baselogger.
And I'm Nick Mako. We started Legacy Box to help you preserve your memories by converting all your videotapes, photos, and film reels into digital files. And this year, it's easier than ever.
Introducing our biggest kit yet, able to hold up to 80 videotapes or film reels or 2,000 photos. It's perfect for big collections. You can even send in old DVDs, memory cards, flip phones, or early generation iPhones.
Legacy Box is truly the easiest New Year's resolution you'll ever keep. Just fill your box and send it in. As the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos, all work is done in the U.S., and we're trusted by over 1 million families.
Start the new year right by rescuing the moments you haven't watched in years. Go to legacybox.com/radio for an incredible 55% off. That's legacybox.com/radio for 55% off.
The NAACP calls him, whoa! I don't think I'm allowed to read this.
It's Reese on the Radio.
Let's just say some people are not fans.
On NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
As I said in the opening of the show, what are they fighting for? And I think I've got to call Samantha Craven. I just watched a video, or at least I sort of lip read a video she just did where she's walking around with a sign that says, I support ICE. Those of you who remember Samantha Craven, her full name, Samantha Craven Antal, she was the woman who was struck in the face by a woman in Harlem as they were having a conversation about abortion. And then, of course, what's his name? Not William Barr. What the heck am I forgetting his name for? Anyway, the district attorney ended up dropping the case, and now she's suing them. So she's still out doing her thing, and Samantha is such a great host in all of that. She's in New York. Hopefully I can get her here in studio with her husband. But she just did this video talking to a young liberal white woman about her sign, and the white woman accosts her and said she doesn't like her sign, and Samantha puts a microphone in her face to ask her why she doesn't like the sign. So I'm going to play it for you tomorrow. Hopefully we'll get Samantha on the program soon enough. Speaking of people coming in to the show, we've got a full week this week because a couple of people I saw yesterday, at least one person I saw yesterday, is coming on the program. Let's start with tomorrow. We are going to speak to Reverend Boise Kimball. He'll be on the program. You might remember him. There's a little shot of him. Reverend Boise Kimball, speaking of ICE, referred to them as the KKK while he was in Jacksonville, Florida last week. We'll have him on the show. We'll talk to him about that. And then on Wednesday, we've got Matt Corey, who is the gentleman who ran against Chris Murphy in the last election. Matt Corey and I talked yesterday at the Trump store. He'll be here live on Wednesday at 4. And then we have got Betsy McCoy, who's coming on the program also on Thursday. She'll be live in studio as well. So we got a pretty full week, a lot of politics stuff, and we'll talk to those great people and talk about that. I got some tough questions for Betsy McCoy. And I think it's right to ask the question. I don't want to feel like I'm railroading her, but there's a question a lot of people are asking. I know a lot of you like her. You know, she is a very feisty conservative. She's got the chops, don't get me wrong, but there are some other questions that linger. So we'll get to those. And, of course, we'll talk about her campaign in beginning that campaign as well. Thank you guys for finding the audio that I played awesome. Fritz is like, wow. Michael A. says that was awesome, so thank you. If you're looking for it, please go on X and find Chad Jackson or Chad O. Jackson, his Twitter handle. He's got it displayed on there today. And he said something on there that made me play it. He said, when you're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, please consider this video. And I watched it this morning, and I said, you know what? That's what I'm playing. So I'm glad he put that together. Speaking of my guest, Matt Corey, who's coming in on Wednesday, I saw him at the Trump store in Vernon. And as you know, we were in Vernon on Friday, which, again, I want to thank you, the Puyas, Jerry, Lori, Caitlin, Chris, all of the employees who were so gracious to us, and thank you for having us in Vernon on Hartford Turnpike. Can't wait to do it again. And everyone that was there. I forgot. Why am I forgetting his name now? Greg Dillon, of course, from the book Thin Blue Lie. Also, Jason Jakubowski from Connecticut Food Share, who was there. I think we made close to, if not, around like $700, $800 that day in selling coupons. So I want to thank all those folks as well. Everybody who showed up, all of you who showed up. Carmelo was there. Teresa was there. Thank you guys for showing up. Everybody, Todd O showed up. And forgive me if I forget a lot of other people. Anyway. So going into Vernon, and I go to the Trump store on Saturday? Saturday. Yes, I went Saturday. We went there. We bought a couple of things. I bought the hat I'm wearing. And, I was talking to a couple of people there. And they were all nice, pleasant folks. But I've been to a couple of Republican events in Connecticut. And there are some things that I am seeing that I'm not happy with as a Republican. Not that I'm ashamed. I'm not ashamed in any way of being a conservative here in Connecticut. But there is a theme, and it's not a good one. And something must be done about it. So let me explain in the most graceful way that I can. I, for the first time, am starting to understand why some politicians are not listening to the Republican constituents in Connecticut. It is not right for them to do that, but I understand. We are not putting on a great face in Connecticut. I need people to understand that. As conservatives, we are not putting on a great face for our party. There is some sloppiness that is going on that must be addressed. Now, I am not an air out the dirty laundry kind of guy. So I don't need to nitpick. I'm not a child and I'm not a woman. With all due respect, ladies, just not. But gentlemen, step it up. Man to man, step it up. We have got to look the part, and we are not. We are not looking like conservatives. We are not behaving like conservatives. It ain't enough to be angry. It ain't enough to be bullish and foolhardy. It ain't. Measured, reasonable, yet fighters. I see a lot of people who are tired and frustrated and don't have enough fight in them. I almost feel a sense of desperation. That is the last stage of give up. Step up your game. Every day you have a fight to win. Not just fight, you have a fight to win. And I have seen some people that I ain't too happy with. And it is not the politician. It is not the person that's running. I've seen some people who are running for certain offices, and boy, they are not looking the part. There is something that must be done about how we present ourselves. Because I can get why the other side says some reprehensible things about Republicans here in Connecticut. And I see where they get it from. And it's because there is no grace or style. And what I mean in that is not just about the way we dress. It is about our delivery. It cannot be gravelly and just ticked off. It can't always be about the Democrats. God love Ralph in South Carolina. But I know Ralph's stick. Ralph is about, what about the Democrats? What about the Democrats? What about the Democrats? It ain't enough. It ain't enough. It's like going out to a nightclub looking for a mate, or anywhere for that matter, looking for your future girlfriend, wife, spouse, whatever the case may be. And you can talk to somebody who seems to be presenting well, not just in clothing, but in behavior. Or you could be talking to the person who's alone, moaning and groaning about how great the other people look. Oh, look at her. Oh, look at her. Oh, look how nice she's dressed. Oh, must be nice to be able to buy Manolo Blahniks. No one finds that attractive. No one does. You have got to be about something. And if the only thing you're about is how screwed up they are, you're about nothing. Do you understand me? You're about nothing if the only thing you're about is who they are. Be about something. Present yourself. Present it well. People get tired of hearing you moan about others. They do. It's really easy for people to get tired of that. Yeah, every time I see that guy, he's always ragging about Democrats. He never really has any, ideas. He's just moaning and groaning. Gets tired. That's why when I go out, you'll hear me. And everybody can vouch for this. If you're listening to my voice, you've seen me out in the streets. What do you see me do? You see me all up in your face? Nope. I'm as quiet as they get. I'm a talk show host. I talk for a living. You see me out in public, I don't even want to converse. Because I'm about something. I'm not about moaning about the left. I could do that on my show all day. And so can you. But you have to be about something. And you have got to be presenting about something. You got to show people why your ideas are sound. You got to show people why who you are is not just a good person, but how you can display that and make and present that to people so that you attract them to who you are. Making this about fighting with the other side? Great, you can fight. Now what? When I talk to these people, like I did at the ICE thing, at the whole ICE vigil, as they tried to call it, I stood there with my hands in my pocket in the middle of the fray, talking to one of the protesters there, while he's screaming and hollering about, this is just wrong, don't you think? Maybe. What, you don't think that it's wrong? Do I have to? Well, I mean, it's happening all around you. I have a particular opinion. I mean, if you want to hear it, I'd be happy to give it to you. But if you don't, that's okay. Tell me more. No, I'm interested now. Okay. I think there are some people here who are in the country who shouldn't belong here. And I believe that some of them are dangerous. I think we should parse out the people who are dangerous and who are not. If you want to keep the people here who are good, we should at least display who those good people are. Do your best to protect them. I don't hear that argument happening. I just hear ICE bad, immigration good. And I think it's more nuanced than that. Don't you? And he goes, well, I mean, that's it. I was like, no, it's okay. No big deal. Of course you can have your opinion. And when I presented to him like that, I was like, I'm absolutely fine with what you believe. They'll say, oh, you sound like you're a MAGA person. What if I am? Maybe you're not a MAGA person. That's all right for you to be. It's all right for you to be a person who doesn't like MAGA. That's okay. I have no problem with that. Drives them nuts every time. You want to know why? I'm not diffusing. I'm telling him in a nice way his opinion is meaningless. He's just a guy with an opinion. And his opinion isn't going to make or break me. His ideology isn't going to break anything. He's a schmo with an opinion. In no way do I believe in giving it a megaphone in my conversation with him. I just simply pat him on the back and tell him, it's going to be okay. It's all right for you to believe what you believe. And I will patiently tell him an alternative way of looking at it. My message and my point has been made, and I walk away. And the next time that I see him, and I did, as he was leaving, I walked up to him and I shook his hand and I said, good talking to you. It was nice talking to you too, and walked away. So, when I see you out there in the street, ladies and gentlemen, and you're a conservative, and by the way, I want to say this more so to men than I am about women, present your point of view. Do it well. Look the part. Look the way that you believe, I should say. Stop phoning it in. You want to make a difference? Get past the anger. Leave that to the bozos. You're just itching for a fight. You want to jump in. Look at them. They're breaking stuff. I want to go in there and stop. Nope. Nope. Because then everyone else sees two fools instead of one. Don't join the fools. And look the part. Present the case. I hate that I have to show people how to win. It makes me arrogant, and I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to win. And if I have to come off arrogant in order to do so, fine. It's okay. Those opinions are small. If you're paying attention to the big picture, you can get past that. But like I said, I've got a goal. Selfish as it may be, it's no offense, but not about you. But in order for you to get it done, you're going to have to step up your game. If you really believe in getting it done, you will. Or you won't. But don't complain afterwards. I'll be asking you, what did you do? Who did you influence? Who did you bring to your side? Or did you just scream, fuss, and fight throughout the whole thing? Trust me, I'll be able to tell. Let's take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll wrap up the show. And plus your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842.
Traffic is brought to you by the Heyman Law Firm.
If you or a loved one has been the victim of medical malpractice, know that you are not alone. Call 1-800-HEYMAN and they will get you the answers and advice you deserve. Attorney John Heyman is your legal authority in medical malpractice. Call 1-800-HEYMAN.
WTIC weather.
The week is off to a chilly start. It's about to turn even colder tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Partly cloudy in the rest of today with a chilly gusty breeze at a high of 32. Partly cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight, low 13. Partly sunny tomorrow, blustery and very cold, high 24. It'll feel as if it's in the teens. Be sure to wear layers with the extreme cold, and bitterly cold tomorrow night, turning out clear, low 4 above. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, not quite as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 31 degrees, and a break in the cold on Thursday. Mixture of clouds and sunshine. Could be a rain shower the afternoon, Thursday's high 42. Return to colder weather on Friday, mix of sun and clouds, breezy, high 30, and turning frigid Friday night. Partly cloudy, dropping a low of 2 below zero. It'll stay bitterly cold this weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Saturday, and breezy with a high of only 10 above, probably dropping below zero across the area once again Saturday night. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is an important public service announcement for our listeners. Brian and Company is also a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Brian and Company, and hit the follow button so you can get every minute of the show your way and on your time. There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. This is WTIC News Talk 1080 with Brian and Company in the morning, Reese on the radio in the afternoon, and news around the clock. WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford and Odyssey Station.
5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. Federal judge has ruled that immigration officers in Minnesota cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters who are not obstructing authorities, including if they are observing agents. Government attorneys who have argued that the officers are acting within their legal authority to enforce immigration laws and protect themselves have now filed their intent to appeal that decision. Legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
The case was brought by 6 Minnesotans who contended that they were manhandled, pepper sprayed, and arrested by ICE agents for merely observing and criticizing the government's actions in rounding up suspected illegal immigrants. A federal district judge agreed, ruling that this amounted to retaliating against peaceful protesters. The DOJ is now appealing that ruling on the grounds that obstruction of justice takes many forms.
A woman is seriously injured following a Sunday night fire in Willimantic. Blaze broke out at the Armory Apartments on Pleasant Street. Victim sustained serious burns and is now in the hospital. Willimantic Fire Chief Ronald Palmer tells WFSB it was all hands on deck getting that fire knocked down.
Fire attack crews made an aggressive interior attack. However, fire was extending to the floor above and into the attic area.
Crews from 10 departments were called in to assist. There's no word yet on a cause. About a half dozen units were damaged. Meriden police continue to investigate a noontime shooting. This occurred in the area of Cook Avenue. They're still out there investigating. They haven't released any more information as to how many people were shot, the extent of any injuries, or what a motive might have been. President Trump's taken to social media to explain why the U.S. needs Greenland for security purposes. CBS's Olivia Rinaldi.
In his True Social post, he said because of the Golden Dome and the offensive and defensive weapons as a part of that, it is important for the U.S. to acquire Greenland. He said it's a highly complex system that can only work at its maximum potential and efficiency because of the angles and bounds if the land of Greenland is included.
The president's threatening additional tariffs of 10% against 8 NATO allies who oppose his plan to take over the island from Denmark. If no deal is struck by June 1st, the president says those tariffs will climb to 25%. At least 40 are dead following a high-speed train collision in Spain.
For one carriage, the haunting moments after impact. Survivors described being thrown through the air into darkness.
It was like 10 seconds of horror. Nobody knew what had happened.
Here, with exceptional calm, staff urged people to stay on the train because it wasn't clear what state the track was in.
It's the BBC's James Waterhouse. College football will crown a national champion later tonight. Indiana and Miami battle at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens.
We're the smallest school, but have the largest fan. And you always get that joke. You didn't even go to the U. Yeah, because we're different. We're community.
That line has Indiana giving 7.5 to 8.5 points to the Hurricanes. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition. It's fully treatable. And at Northeast Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll also likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Northeast Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I wonder if I should do this because technically it is the music news of the day. So I figured I could do this.
Yeah. Don't cancel me yet. Come here. Yeah. Wake up, phone glow, scrolling like, let's see. Everybody mad at somebody that's not me. New post saying breathing is offensive. I'm like, I just woke up, how am I a menace? One day, Charles say, every dude is toxic. Tuesday, they need a strong man for the optics. One thread say, man, sit down, stay quiet. Next clip, where the girl is at, I can't find her. One show say my grandma's collar backwards. Same show using Brahma slinging now, but after old folks school and did they shout in the segment? Lean brow with signature, we lost all our blessings. They like that's racist. Can't say that erase it. Think twice wrong in they case it. Whole world yelling that's racist. That's racist. Zip side same phrases. New rules same places. Whatever the day is, the phrase is. Yeah, that's racist. Turn on CNN panel, look a word. Every single topic, the nation's in a hurry. Understand what my screen, righteous in a circle. Send a fair assemblies, calling more commercials. The view at 11, coffee on the table. 1 minute, man, bad, next we needle stable. One day, stay home, girl, love yourself. Yeah, next day, bones up, and Josh posed the new white girls in the comments that we hate Karens. Next fits ain't cool, leading all the errands, screaming. That's harassment at the drive-thru curb. But we won this world on they phone like we're on today. So which is it today, Queen or villain? You can't say Queen has old school chillin'. I take back 8 and now Queen is a Tonkin in my brain doing backflips, keeping up at all of it. They like that's racist. Can't say that erase it. Change one word, still face it. Old cow shouting, that's racist. New rules,
That's right. From Reese on the Radio Records and Tapes. That's racist. From lowercase g. I think I'm just going to do this whole music thing all over again. Why not? What do you think, Roland? No? No? Hater. It's such a hater. Just stone cold hating. Just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. You can also go to the YouTube page, and you will. I actually, I have a surprise for Roseanne coming up. She won't be here. She'll be here this week, but she won't be here the week after because she's going to Virginia to go visit the boy and her friends. She misses all of her friends, and the boy's going. He's going to be leaving for the Citadel in August. And so she wants to spend some time with him. So she's going to be, at the end of the month, she won't be here on that Friday, but she'll be here this Friday. So she'll be back, gosh, will she be back at the end of the month? So anyway, we'll talk to her about that trip when we get back. And plus, we'll get to your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. Tell me what you think. It's Reese on the Radio.
Brought to you by Staples.
It's a new year, and Staples has fresh deals to get you fully equipped for 2026. Like up to $120 off HP Smart Tank printers. This deal means business, and so do these printers. Shop in store and online today. Staples. That was easy. Ends 131.
WTIC weather.
Turning very cold tonight, partly cloudy with a gusty breeze and a low of 13. A mix of sun and clouds tomorrow, breezy and very cold. High 24. I'm feeling colder with the wind. Mostly clear tomorrow night, a bitterly cold. Tomorrow night's low 4 above. Not quite as harsh on Wednesday. Increasing cloudiness, a high up to 31 and above freezing, maybe even above 40 on Thursday. Right now it is 25 degrees in Plymouth. It's 28 in Unionville, 29 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Never liked braces? Invisalign is an alternative that may be right for you. It's removable, more comfortable, and reduces the risk of developing cavities and gum disease. Get your dream smile discreetly and easily. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Newsmax, you like Newsmax. I like it too. Newsmax has been terrific.
President Trump is right. Millions like you are tuning into Newsmax. You're watching Newsmax on cable. You're going to our streaming channel, Newsmax 2. And you're downloading our free Newsmax app on your smartphones and TVs. Reuters Institute says we're now one of the top news brands in the nation. Every night, watch great shows with Rob Schmidt, Carl Higbie, Rob Finnerty, and more as they expose the big media lies, the Washington swamp. And they're never afraid to talk about faith, freedom, and the values that made us great. Find out why Newsmax is the fastest growing news channel in America. Make the switch today and join our news revolution. Get Newsmax on cable, on streaming, and download the free app today. It takes just seconds to start. Let President Trump know you stand with Newsmax. It's for real news, for real people. Make the switch today.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1238 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1238. That's 800-549-1238. What do you have to lose? Call 800-549-1238. Again, 800-549-1238.
It's Reese on the Radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
I was just telling Roland behind the scenes of my defunct hip-hop career. A lot of people don't know that story. I don't really talk about it because I have a great opportunity to talk about it here because it's Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, and it's like, a lot of people aren't at work, so it's lighthearted to just tell the story. But I'll let me tell the story since I already told it to Roland. So Roland, indulge me because you'll hear it over again. So back in the days, what was very popular, and a lot of you Gen Xers will know this, because a lot of you, only being in Connecticut, were very involved with hip-hop in its early stages. Not like we don't have hip-hop artists here in Connecticut. I mean, we've got Chris Webby, for crying out loud. So being in the tri-state area, you almost felt like you were part of that movement in the 80s. And what was very popular back in the days was there was a lead rapper or a group, and they always had a backup dancer. And I was a shy guy. I was funny, but I was shy in the sense of I didn't want to be the star of anything. And being in the background, just hanging on, just hanging out, yeah, do your rap thing, and I'll do it. Because what I started doing was hip-hop dance. My mom taught me how to dance when I was a kid, and I loved hip-hop so much, and I loved being a dancer. It was the only thing I would do. And so Jamie Montgomery, my best friend at the time, I'd known him since the 6th grade. We're like 16, 17. Gosh, we're probably even older than that. I want to say, about 17, 18 years old. And all he wanted to do was be a rapper. And he hooked up with a guy that was associated with Salt and Pepper, and the guy had a home studio, and Jamie was going down there every other week to go record something. And finally, this guy, Irving, said, listen, it's all great, but I think we need to make you a group. It'd be great if you had someone else with you. And so Jamie naturally thought of his best friend. Comes back home and he says, Reese, you want to come down to the studio and do a little, I was like, rap? I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. I said, dude, I just want to be in the background. I don't want to be up front. He's like, no, it's like, you could do this. You just write a rhyme, and if they like it, they'll just try it out. So I'm like, all right, fine. So I sat home and I wrote out a couple of songs. Jamie and I worked on them together. Fine. We get there. We do the demo. And we had fun. I'd never recorded before. Never wore the headphones. Never done anything close to it. But It was professional enough for me, and we did it. We did a whole bunch of takes, and it was great. It was fun. I'm getting a laugh. I wish people had the outtakes. It was so much fun. Go home, think nothing of it. We recorded about 2 or 3 songs. Go home, think nothing of it. In my head, nothing's going to come of this. Sure enough, my whole life goes as it does. I moved to Manhattan. It's 1991, right? About late 90, summer 91. I'm married, and actually, I apologize. Summer 1992. Married, and I have a son, Caleb. Caleb was born July. So, gosh, I said 3 months, Roland. I don't think he was a month old, now that I think about it. And we're living in Manhattan on Thompson Street, 174 Thompson. I still remember it. And I get a phone call, and it's Irving. I don't know how the hell this guy got my number, but he got it. I hadn't seen him in years. 21, 22 now. Irving picks up the phone. I pick up the phone. It's Irving. It's like, hey, Reese, what's going on? I'm like, cool. I said, I got somebody to listen to your demo, and they really like you, and this record label would like to meet up with you. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, my life is a little different now. I'm married. I got a kid. I live in Manhattan. I'm not even in Queens anymore. He was like, no problem. The place is in Manhattan. You could go down there. I'm like, okay, cool. Jamie's in Virginia. Jamie's all the way in Virginia. Let's call him and see if he can make it up to New York. Guy goes, Jamie? I go, yeah, the guy who did the demo for. He goes, they don't want him. So I'm like, what? He goes, no, they're not interested in him. They liked you. And I'm like, ooh, no, I don't think I can do that. He goes, why not? They like you. You can probably get a record deal out of this. No, that's like Jamie's dream. Like, Jamie is still rapping in 1992. Like, this kid, he's one of those other kids. He's saying that somebody's going to hear him. He's going to get a career. This is his dream. Me, no parts. I'm just trying to live my life. Again, all I want to do is do radio. Because, again, I could be behind the scenes. Nobody can see me. I was a background guy. So I'm like, okay, fine. Somebody's got to call Jamie and tell him. They had no intention of doing it. So I have to. So I wait a day. And, again, I'm up late at night. And that's how I know this all sort of plays a role in this. So I'm already up late at night because Caleb, my son, is only about a month or so old. And I had spent the first 6 months of his life sleeping on the floor next to his bassinet with a pocket mirror because I kept checking to see if he was breathing. Because when he was born, there were some weird breathing issues. He had to stay in an incubator, and I was scared to death. Plus the fact that my mom had in my head when we told her we were having a baby, she said, oh, sweetheart, you couldn't keep a cactus alive. So, of course, I've got a baby with breathing problems, so I'm sleeping on the floor, making sure every 15 minutes that he's breathing. Anyway, what am I doing in the middle of the night? I'm watching old reruns of The Honeymooners. And those of you who have watched The Honeymooners know this episode well. Ralph and Ed Norton write a song together. And they are trying to sell it to a record label. Do you remember? And they didn't like Ralph's lyrics. They loved Ed Norton's music. This episode aired that night as I'm watching it. And at the end, you all remember, I guess I'm not giving anything away. It's The Honeymooners, for crying out loud. Spoiler alert is warranted. At the end, Norton comes bursting into the door and says, hey, Ralph, turn on the radio, turn on the radio. And Ralph turns on the radio, and there is their song. Ed Norton wouldn't take the deal with the guy who just wanted his music. He rejected the deal that they got. Even Ralph telling him, it's okay, you take it. He rejected it, and he found a record label that would play the song with its original lyrics so that Ralph would get credit. And I saw that, and I went, thank you, God. Gave me my calling at that point, told me what to do. And I called Irving and I said, no, thank you. If it's not without Jamie, I can't do it. And I turned it down. I called Jamie a couple of months later. Jamie ended up back in New York. I bought some recording equipment, and Jamie and I recorded a demo together and a couple of songs together that we actually sold out of our backpack. because I just said I couldn't be compromised. I couldn't sell them out, and there was no way I was going to do that because I would feel awful. And Jamie always respected me for that. He just said, you never know what could have happened, but for me it was just wrong. I just couldn't do it. In my heart of hearts, I couldn't do it. But I've always been a writer, and that was sort of what I was doing there. So I've always loved writing. I've always loved, but I don't want to be the guy rapping. I just don't. It's a level of scrutiny that I have about myself that I just don't want to do. So I'll let somebody else do it. I'm not doing it. So that's what it's always been about. I've always loved the music, all types of music. Maybe not bluegrass and what's that other one? Polka. But I've always loved, and maybe not that much country. But I've always written, and I've always loved writing. So it's a nice opportunity to get to do that all over again. I just wanted to share that. So Roland, that was a good deal, right? Would you have done that? Would you have turned down the deal if your pals were if they had asked you and not your friends? Would you have turned it down, or would your friends have encouraged you to just take it?
No, I would have taken it.
You would have done it?
Yeah, I would have done it, and then after you establish yourself? Yeah, then I'd have brought him in.
But friends that's the thing, man. Friends, they don't like waiting around. When they miss the opportunity, they get bitter.
Yeah, you could wait around with $100,000 in your pocket.
You would have laced them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really? You would have laced them up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's your best friend, and y'all do music together, and you make it and he don't. You gotta lace him up.
Yeah, I would. I guess you're right. I guess that would have been fair. But I just something about
Put some money in the pocket. Say hold tight. Don't spend it all. Hold tight. Start working on your craft a little bit more, and then once I get to the next level.
Yeah.
Then you write, or even once I start working on my album, you're on the album.
That what that always can I tell you, because I thought about that too. That was also in my sort of thought process in it. And I spoke to my wife then at the time. She said exactly as you. Make it, do an album, and if it's really as successful, you bring them in and you maybe have them do a guest spot, and if they hear him, maybe that could then launch his career. I thought about that, and guess what? It kept running through my head. What if they reject him? What if he only gets rejected a second time?
It don't matter. He's on a record. He's on the album, and if the album goes platinum, he's a platinum selling artist.
That's true. Maybe I didn't think that through.
How old were you?
About 22.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why. Young
and dumb.
It takes some time to get that knowledge.
Yeah, I guess so.
Some people got it, and the ones that do have it at that age, they're the ones that become the Jay-Z's and the 50 Cents and those guys. They had the knowledge at that younger age, where some people take to 35, they have it at 20.
But it's so funny because I watched a couple of years back 50 Cent talking to Angie Martinez about just that. Mm-hmm. And he said, and it is weird because one thing I love, one of my favorite people in the whole G-Unit thing is Tony Yayo.
Yeah.
He is my favorite person of any entourage ever in history. Maybe with the exception of, what's his name from the Lost Boys who passed away?
Mr. Cheeks?
Yeah, is it Mr. Cheeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Cheeks. But I love Tony Yayo. And 50 tells this great story about Tony Yayo asking him to let me hold something, to give him some money. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I watch. I'm a fan of Tony Yayo's too, but I'm also a fan of 50, the young 50.
Yes, me too.
When he was out there grinding, and the stuff that he would say would let you knew that he was above everybody else.
Oh, totally. He had the star power was there from get go.
Yep.
I mean, you just know it. But anyway, he was talking to Angie Martinez about Tony Yayo saying to him, in essence, let me hold something. And Yayo's reasoning for that was because you have so much.
Mm-hmm.
And 50 having to explain to him it doesn't work like that. And it's an important thing to learn in that arena because of stories like MC Hammer.
Yeah.
Who got all of that fame and all of that money and gave it all away. I would have been MC Hammer. I'm telling you, in that scenario, I would have felt an obligation to make sure Jamie was taken care of to my own detriment, because I would have felt that I stole something from him.
Yeah, but you can't look at it like that.
I know.
You can't look at it like that. I had that. And you know what's crazy? I had that opportunity, and funny enough, Missy Elliott messed everything up for our deal.
Wow.
When we were with Rough Riders, then we had a deal with Atlantic Records, and we were going in for the big signing meeting.
Yeah.
We were waiting in that lobby probably, I don't know, 9 hours.
Oh yes.
We got there like 11 in the morning, and then we were supposed to get seen at 1, so we got there 2 hours early. Then Missy and her management walked in. We watching them walk in, talking to everybody. They're in a meeting forever. They was in a meeting for like 7 hours.
Wow.
And they just never came to get us. And the secretary came down and apologized. It was like, can we get you guys in tomorrow? The problem was, just like in your scenario, my best friend, my boy, who was the producer, and I wrote the lyrics, he had just got a new job. His wife was on him because we were both out of work. We were both out of work for like 3 years trying to do this music thing.
Wow.
So struggling, like really struggling. No money here and there. Wife supporting.
Yeah, supporting the dream.
So, no, not supporting the dream, taking care of the bills in the household.
Just taking care. Yeah.
And we on our own. And she told him he had to get a job or she's leaving. He got a job. And this was like his first week of work. So he took that day off, which he didn't want. His wife was mad that he took the day. And he's like, I can't take another day off.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose my job, and then I might lose my wife. So that's how that happened. And we try to send stuff over the email, music over the, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's just not the same. And that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe it just wasn't meant to be in that respect, because then I started writing for other artists after that. So I was like, maybe it was meant for me to go that route.
Does it ever itch at you?
Yeah, all the time. I think about it all the time, because I'm like, what was going to happen in that room where we were going to go and sign? But then I was like hearing all these stories and things that I know about the industry and have experienced. I was like, maybe I would have been dead or in jail.
Right, maybe. Like, you never know. Right? It's not your plan. It's all God's, man.
Maybe it was good I didn't go in that room.
Which is, speaking of another great line, 50 Cent, this is God's plan, homie. This ain't mine.
Yeah.
And it's like, you just have to accept it. Acceptance is the answer, as we like to say.
It's hard, though. It's hard. It's hard.
It is.
When you're giving your all and trying your all and you doing all, staying up, we in the studio 72 hours straight, ordering food and not wanting to go home, stank funky, and just really trying to get it done. And we were up in Yonkers a lot at the studios, the Rough Riders studios.
Imagine when I know the feeling when you hear the finished product and you're loving every bit of it.
Amazing.
Oh, it's just.
That's why I never did drugs. Like that was
the drug.
That was the process of it coming out of your head onto the paper.
Yes.
In the studio, rough drafts, fine tuning, mastering.
Yeah.
Hearing the finished product, it was like, I can't wait to hear the finished product of this.
It is creating a child, man, in a weird way. Yeah. It is a child because it's a living. People don't understand it. It is a living and breathing thing. I think anybody who creates knows what that's like.
Yeah.
It is a living and breathing thing. And aside from the fact that you love it the most, you critique it the most too.
Yeah.
Because you can find the little quits. It's right there. I was like,
that long breath, that pop, that click, all of that.
Yeah,
Gotta get it out of there.
You can hear it.
It'll and everybody be like, I love the song, and all you hear is the two things that you wish you could redo.
Yep. Oh man. Boy, that's okay. That's a talk. That's a walk down memory lane. Thank you for that, Roland. You have no idea. That was fun. We'll take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We'll get to your phone calls. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
WTIC weather.
The week is off to a chilly start. It's about to turn even colder tonight, tomorrow, and tomorrow night. Partly cloudy in the rest of today with a chilly, gusty breeze at a high of 32. Partly cloudy, breezy, and colder tonight, low 13. Partly sunny tomorrow, blustery and very cold, high 24. It'll feel as if it's in the teens. Be sure to wear layers with the extreme cold, and bitterly cold tomorrow night, turning out clear, low 4 above. Wednesday, increasing cloudiness, not quite as cold Wednesday afternoon, high 31 degrees, and a break in the cold on Thursday. Mixture of clouds and sunshine, could be a rain shower in the afternoon, Thursday's high 42. Return to colder weather on Friday. Mix of sun and clouds, breezy, high 30, and turning frigid Friday night. Partly cloudy, dropping a low of 2 below zero. It'll stay bitterly cold this weekend. Intervals of clouds and sunshine Saturday and breezy with a high of only 10 above. Probably dropping below zero across the area once again Saturday night. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
When winter weather hits, you can depend on WTIC and News Talk 1080 to get you through every storm. With weather, Bob Cox and the WTIC Weather Center working around the clock to give you the latest, most accurate winter weather forecast. With traffic, Mark Christopher and the WTIC traffic team will get you around the tie-ups. With news, the WTIC news team will have all the important news updates related to every storm. So when winter weather hits, and it will because it's winter and it's Connecticut, trust WTIC News Talk 1080 for the winter information you need without the hype. And now, a WTIC news update.
It's 5:30. Good afternoon. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News. We have partly cloudy skies out there. Currently 28 in Hartford. Temperatures around here will fall through the floor. Lows in the single digits and teens tonight and tomorrow. Severe weather, cold weather protocol is in effect. After a brief respite midweek, temps will really take a tumble with high temperatures not getting out of the teens by the weekend. Police have been at the scene of a shooting in Meriden. They were called around noon to an area of Cook Avenue. They haven't released much more in the way of information this afternoon, including the extent of any injuries or possible motive, but that investigation, again, is ongoing. Governor Lamont is freezing property tax assessments for farmers. Made that announcement in a statement today. Lamont says the state will keep 2020 land use values. A woman is in the hospital after a fire in Willimantic Sunday night. Victims sustained serious burns in the fire at the Armory Apartments. That investigation is ongoing. One of several fires in Connecticut over the last day. In Waterbury, a dozen people were displaced after a basement fire on Country Club Road. And in Granby early this morning, one person and two pets made it out of a home that caught fire. President Trump has linked his stance to Greenland to last year's decision not to award him a Nobel Peace Prize, telling Norway's prime minister he no longer feels, quote, an obligation to think purely of peace. Also, the president is threatening tariffs on 8 NATO allies should they not fall in line with his declaration to acquire the island. Those 10% tariffs would take place beginning February 1st. If no deal is struck by June 1st, the number jumps to 25%. And it's finally the end of the college football season tonight. The national championship game taking place in Miami Gardens, essentially a home game for the University of Miami, as the Hurricanes will take on the Indiana Hoosiers for the championship. Markets closed today because of the Martin Luther King Day holiday. For these stories and more, go to WTIC.com. I'm John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/Mike.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The Odyssey app lets you jump back to the moments you missed from WTIC News Talk 1080. Download the free Odyssey app, search WTIC News Talk 1080, and tap earlier today to get started.
By the way, if you are just joining us this hour, please be reminded that tomorrow we've got plenty of guests this week. Starting with Tuesday, we have none other than Reverend Boise Kimmel. He's going to be on the phones. I would have rather him be here, but he will not, probably because he lives all the way south of here. But he's going to be on the phone. We'll talk to him about what he said about ICE agents, comparing them to the KKK. You will probably be surprised at his views on that, but we will ask him how indeed they do compare to the KKK. So that's right, Boise Kimball. He's been a guest on the show before. He'll be back again. Also on Wednesday, we've got Matt Corey. He will be here. You remember him, former Senate candidate, now running for lieutenant governor here in Connecticut. He'll be on the program. He'll be live in studio. And then on Thursday, we've got Betsy McCoy, former lieutenant governor of New York, now running for governor here in the state of Connecticut. So all three of those folks will be here this week. Jam-packed week. I know that someone is working on getting some really, really big guests. I don't know if that's going to happen this month. Maybe it will be next month, but I know we're working on Mike Rowe, Riley Gaines, and J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, of course. I don't know if the president thing is going to happen. My wife's a little loony with that one, but I love Roseanne. I do. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think, did your wife ever do that, or did you ever have anybody in your life do that with you that sort of is so proud of you? It's almost like Hercules. Like, do you have anybody like that? Is your mom like that, Roland, in any way?
Yeah, not really.
Okay. It's a weird thing.
My mom will say stuff that I know I can't do, though.
Really?
And she'll be like, yeah, you know you could do that. I'll be like, no, I can't. Like, what are you talking about?
She has delusions of grandeur when it comes to things that you can do. Can you describe some of the things that she's talking about? Like, does she think, oh, my son could dunk?
No, I could dunk. Like anything I'm involved in, like in music, she's like,
yeah.
I'm like, I try to get these 3 songs done by tomorrow, but I can't do it. She's like, oh yeah, you could get those 3 songs done. I'm like, I'm telling you that I can't get it. I can't get it done.
Baby, just believe in yourself. Just believe. That's all you have to do.
It's impossible. She doesn't understand like everything that goes into making a song. How you got to go to the studio, record, edit, do this, do that.
Yeah.
It takes. You can't do it in 24 hours.
Yeah. So apparently, Roseanne did something absolutely insane. But when your wife does something like that, you can't be mad at her, even though you know what she's doing is absolutely insane. So she does it, and then she says the words you should never say to your husband. You're going to be mad at me.
Oh, man.
And I go, what do you mean you're going to be mad? I'm going to be mad at you. She goes, so I just put in a request for an interview. And I'm like, with whom? She was like, Donald Trump. I'm like, what? What are you doing? She goes, no, I think he would really love to come on your show. And I'm like, okay, Roseanne. I don't want to like completely well, who would poo-poo that? And I look at her and I go, and I can't do anything but just say, thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. I really appreciate you loving me so much. But for her to say, he would love to come on. Maybe they'll listen to the show and they'll be really excited about bringing him on. I'm going,
Oh,
okay,
my
sweetheart.
goodness.
I was like, okay, sweetheart. But I'm like, thank you. She goes, you never know. And then when it happens, what am I going to do then? Right? And I have to look at her and just go, yeah, believe in yourself. Just what do you do? I would have to sit back and just go, obviously my wife knows something I don't. So if it happens, it happens. I just
Yeah, you never know, Reese.
Hercules. That's what she sounds like. As soon as she said it, I went, boy, do you have a lot of faith in me, sweetheart. And she does. I love her for it. I love her. I do not, and I mean it, I could not have asked for a better wife. I could not have done it. Let's take a break. Let's get.
I hope so. After 4 tries, I hope you get it right.
I was hoping nobody would bring that up, Roland. They always do, though.
That's what I'm here for.
We'll take a break, check some weather, and we'll be back and wrap all this up when we return to Reese on the Radio.
WTIC weather.
Very cold tonight and a gusty breeze, partly cloudy overnight, low 13. Partly sunny, blustery, and very cold tomorrow, high 24. Not quite as windy tomorrow night, but bitterly cold and clear, low tomorrow night 4 above. Increasing cloudiness on Wednesday, high 31 degrees. Not as cold Thursday. Partly sunny, maybe an afternoon rain shower, a high of 42. It's currently 25 degrees in West Hartford. It's 28 in Newington and 29 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
Guys, if you want the greatest night of your life, I mean your best night ever, then you gotta hear this. There's a new ED pill out, and it's from the makers of Viagra. It's their first new ED pill in over 20 years. This new super pill is called Viagra AGV, and it's unbelievable. It works super fast in only 11 minutes and lasts up to 14 hours, thanks to its new vasodynamic delivery system. Plus, it's FDA approved and safe. There has never been any ED pill like it. It's unreal what it does to you. In testing, Viagra AGV crushed every other ED pill. It destroyed them all. And now, 9 out of 10 urologists are recommending Viagra AGV over any other ED pill. Every man alive needs to try this new Viagra AGV super pill at least once. Then you'll know why men are going crazy over it. So if you want to have the most incredible night of your life, you can't miss this. Go to scoreblue.com and try it while supplies last. That's scoreblue.com.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is. You know who it is.
It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, we are wrapping it up and getting out of here. I hope that you are enjoying your day off, doing some chores, maybe some shoveling, maybe running some errands, doing all that good stuff. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing when I go home. Oh, yeah, I have to find out what my new parking space is that I have to do. There's no football today, so that sucks. There's nothing to do. Wow, I'm going to have a quiet Monday. Oh, I got to find something to do. It seems like is it already dark outside? Yes, it is. Damn. I feel like I need to do something, so I'm just going to go home and do nada. That's all. Sit in the house. Maybe watch some television. I haven't watched anything in a while. Oh, I didn't watch yesterday's Landman. That's what I'll do. I haven't seen that. It's it's supposed to be a really good one too. So I'll watch that, and I don't know, maybe Jesse Waters. The 5 is still on, so we'll probably watch that. I don't know. Sounds like it's going to be another boring day, so we'll be back here tomorrow. Let's get to the phones. Our very own provocateur, White Mike, is on the line. What's going on, buddy? Happy weekend to you.
Yeah, same to you. First of all, I don't think it's pretty weird that I'm the whitest white guy on the planet. I'm going to spend my evening watching basketball on Martin Luther King Day, and you're not.
I am not afraid. I'll tell you this. I hate seasonal basketball. I love the playoffs. I never, because it sounds like 82 games for me is just too much. Part of the reason why I hate the NFL is because they extended it to 18 games.
So a couple things real quick here. It is Martin Luther King Day, and I always wondered why when they set this holiday up, they didn't set it up for the day he was assassinated so it could be like an equal opportunity holiday for everybody.
Help me understand that. So you're saying April 4th as opposed to January?
Yeah. So then the people who loved him can mourn, and those who didn't like him can celebrate. And it's win-win for everybody.
It's true because, I talked about this. People, they get mad at me, but it's a fact. I was on the air. In fact, my boss was listening to the show and didn't know this. I read a list. It was after Charlie Kirk was killed. I read a list of these people who were cheering the assassination, but I made it sound like these people were celebrating the assassination of Charlie Kirk. But after I read it, I said, these are all the things that people did after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and Robert Kennedy. There were people, 4th graders were celebrating the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. 4th graders.
The Kennedys were not popular in the South at
No!
all. When AFK was smoked, people were happy. But so get back on this subject real quick. So the NBA is making a big deal about, look at all the basketball games we have on Martin Luther King Day.
Really?
But what would happen if Popeyes had a Martin Luther King Day chicken sale? They would freak out, right? They would lose their minds. Like, that's racist.
You know what? I agree with you. Do you remember when Columbia University got in trouble for the same thing? It was Juneteenth, and they had actually asked the students what they wanted served in the lunchroom, and they chose collard greens, watermelon, and fried chicken, and someone found something. I'm like, this was chosen by the black students.
Thank you. So, dude, I don't know. Dude, it's just crazy that they can be so blatantly racist. I mean, it's straight up racist to say, hey, black folk, we know you like basketball. Here you go. That's really what they're saying.
It totally is. And again, you know what? It is. People always talk about the soft bigotry and low expectations. I believe it's nothing more than acceptable bigotry. And that's what it is. It's acceptable bigotry. Joe Biden, if you don't know whether or not you should vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. Acceptable bigotry.
And I keep hot sauce in my purse and all that.
Yes,
stuff.
exactly.
Real quick, in closing, you guys spent about 20 minutes, reminiscing about your hip-hop careers.
Oh, yes.
I always said that being the greatest rapper in the world is like being a gold medalist at the Special Olympics. There is not a hip-hop group in the history of the world who has a modicum of the talent of a one-hit wonder 80s hair metal band. Not one.
No, oh, come on now. Listen to me. I fight that. I fight that through and through. Here's why.
Right. Stick on a treble clef. It's computers and beats, and it's not like a person.
Not necessarily true, because I can name you several groups that do not and are absolutely originalist in the sense of, because the Roots, I think, are a perfect example from the beginning.
Well,
they stayed away from sampling.
But Japanese people tend to be short.
Goodbye. Get out of here.
All right.
He is such a hater. Goodness gracious. God love him. Again, let me explain something to you so everybody knows. It's like, why do you talk to that guy? I love people like Mike. I'm not afraid of him. I embrace people like him. You should actually embrace some of the nonsense that White Mike says, because there's a reason for it, and that is We have lived in a world that is absolutely offended, even us, who have screamed and hollered about political correctness every day. And then a white Mike shows up and everybody goes, oh my goodness, relax. It doesn't mean anything. It is not. Stop clutching your pearls. I can listen, and I can disagree with him too, because it doesn't change my friendship with him. I love white Mike, and he loves me. And he sometimes is a radical lunatic, but I love him. I accept him for who he is, as he does with me. So you can learn for a little bit from white Mike, take him trips and traps, but he still makes me laugh. That's what I love about him. Let's go to Adam in East Hartford. Oh, sorry, wrong. There he goes. Hey, Adam, how are you?
Good. I just want to tell you it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting Roseanne and seeing you again. I met you and Joey at the Hilton Suites before, remember?
Yes, I do remember, Adam, and thank you for showing up again. Always supporting the show is the best, man. Thank you, man. We wouldn't be here without you guys.
And how'd the fundraising event go?
It actually did. It did really well. I think we did just under, if not a little over, about $800 in the day in just coupon sales altogether. And we're talking about like a $24 coupon. And they did, that was the purchase of the $24 coupon, and then online, or I guess they went online because people wanted to bring cash. So we just sent them online to just donate that day, and everybody who showed up did. And so just in that sitting in 4 hours altogether, we pulled in about $800.
It was a pleasure for me to meet Jane from Bloomfield, a really nice
Yes, Jane, as Roland calls her, my stalker. But she is a treat. She's a treat. She's so energetic. I don't know. That woman is going to live forever because she has got the energy of a bunny rabbit, my friend. She is absolutely, she's always excited to see me, and I love her to death for that, and I always appreciate her showing us so much love, and she loved herself some Roseanne.
I'll end it with this note. Tell Roseanne I said hi, and I'll keep listening to the show, all right?
You got it. Thank you so much, Adam.
Thanks.
You got it. Tom in Thomaston, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm well, Reese. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Hey, Reese.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Are you being pulled over? No.
No, but don't be careful while you drive.
Yeah.
I'm just an idiot. Anyway, Reese, a month or two ago, you made a joke about you don't like blind musicians.
It's not a joke.
Could that have anything to do with what Ray Charles' view on rap and hip-hop?
No, it isn't.
Right.
Let me explain it to you. And it sounds mean-spirited. It isn't. It's just because, okay, I have always been uncomfortable with people making much ado about people's blindness and them playing music. That's all I'm saying. It's just overblown. I get it. And all I'm saying is we wouldn't have so many of them if it was a phenomenon. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I got you. Because his views on rap and hip-hop are kind of mine. I don't get it. I'll just never get it.
You know what? So, let me explain. Can I explain it to you? I think I can do this. You're my last but not least caller today. I can break this down to you, at least from my point of view. And I can't speak for everybody else in the hip-hop game. Maybe Roland will jump in on this. But if you can can you turn your radio down a little bit, because I'm getting feedback.
No, my radio's off.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it may just be where you are. Okay, so let me explain it this way. So for a certain few, at a particular time of hip-hop or rap for that matter, there was something that spoke uniquely to that group of people in that generation. And it was the late 70s, and I want to say 79, to about 85 and 86. And there were all of these different groups with different sounds and styles, but they all represented one thing, and it was a genre that no one, or a group of people that no one else was paying attention to. Because at the time, disco was dying, and that wasn't for kids. rock and roll was not really our music in a sense. It was appealing to white suburban kids or white inner city kids in sort of like places like Brooklyn. This music was unique to young kids that were looking for something that represented them uniquely, and rap music did that. And it was talking about things that we liked or cared about. It wasn't just about violence. It was also about having a good time or being the best or inspiring people to do good or to be good to themselves. And it just had a great and playful feel to it. And we just loved it. It is not for everyone, but I'll admit it is not what it used to be. I would love to have hip-hop back to what it was in the 80s. Because if I mentioned the groups that we were listening to and you would see the pictures of them, you would see a whole bunch of black kids, but they were all dressed differently.
Yeah, but you also had a bunch of young white kids. My theory, Reese, is the music you listen to from like 12 to 25.
Yeah.
That's the music you love, and when you get older, it kind of reminds you of your youth, so you're always going to love that
Exactly.
music.
It is your formative years. That's exactly right.
I'm just like Ray Charles. I don't really get it. Can I ask you one quick question on Somalia?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, Reese, isn't it correct, you or I, if we go to the bank and cash a check for $10,000, doesn't the bank have to report that to the government?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how in God's green earth was millions and millions of dollars in suitcases that the airport security checked? How was that just allowed to go to Somalia from 19, like they said it started in, 2016?
Yep.
No, 2008 or something. How could that possibly happen?
You know exactly how it happened. They look the other way because the state is corrupt, and that's the thing that is really killing everything about that state right now, is that it was a rogue state, dude. It was.
If the higher-ups don't go to jail next state, then why do it? Why should us do anything legal?
This administration will lose a lot of faith, I would say this, MAGA or conservatives or just regular folks will lose a lot of faith in this administration if it does not hold people accountable in Minnesota. I will tell you that right now. I mean, it is all in on these folks getting this corruption paid for and people being held responsible, or else he can forget about his legacy. Because it would be like Obama and the banks, right? It was like Obama running against all the banks and all the corruption and then coming in and giving them a bailout. It was the first thing that people criticized Obama about. Because, of course, in his re-election campaign, who funded it? Wall Street banks.
I think those Somalia people make Nancy Pelosi look like a piker, you know?
You're 100% right, my friend. You sure are 100% right. Thank you, boss man, as always.
Bye.
You got it. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's got it. Listen, I will hold Trump and the administration's feet to the fire. I hear Eric Swalwell might be getting it, too. Can't wait. Can't wait. Thank you, Michael A. I appreciate it. John Beckman says, Ronnie Millsap put out great music, by the way. I'm sure he did. He was all right. But can Stevie Wonder read music? Beckman, you're the worst person in the world. Not to say you're not funny. You are the horrible person. It's absolutely horrible. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. We will see you back here tomorrow with Boise Kimball, our guest at 4 o'clock. Be good, be safe, and remember, Reese on the Radio loves you. If no one else does, at least I do. See you mañana.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now